Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Minato summons future Naruto part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Come on Obito, or we're going to be late. Rin frowned as she called out to her teammate, Obito Uchiha. Said boy came running out of the Uchiha compound after her. I'm coming! Obito called as he quickly caught up to the young girl. Together, they ran toward their training area, weaving through the crowded streets as they hurried to meet up with the other half of their team. When they got there, they were surprised to find only Kakashi there waiting with a frown. At least they thought so, on his face. Good morning, Kakashi-kun. Rin chirped happily, giving the silver-haired boy a small but bright smile. Kakashi still had the frown but nodded politely all the same, then turned away. Still a popsicle. Obito thought with a scowl, giving his teammate an irritated and narrow glance. The way waited for a long while before, eventually, there was a rustling sound across the clearing. They looked up to see their sensei, Minato Namikaze, looking down at them with a smile from a few trees away. He gave them a slight wave as he explained himself. Sorry I'm late. I had to talk to the Hokage. As he jumped down, the team was already making their way toward him with Obito in the lead, Kakashi just behind him moving at a sedate pace and Rin walking in front of Kakashi. So what type of training are we doing today? Obito asked excitedly, eyes bright and eager. Minato opened his mouth to answer, his lips curling into a fond smile at his most energetic student. But he didn't get a chance to speak. A flash of light engulfed them, stealing their breath and senses. When the light cleared, they found themselves in forest that opened up to a small, glittering blue lake. They weren't alone though. A little ways among the trees, lay the red-haired Kushina, the sage Jiraiya, and Lady Tsunade sitting by the lake. Kushina looked up to see them first and smiled slightly in surprise. I guess we're all here then. Kushina sighed, taking out her feet out the water and standing up. Team 7 looked at Kushina in confusion. Lady Kushina, what are you talking about? Rin asked with her face twisted in a slight frown. Well, Tsunade replied in the red-haired woman's place. We've been here for a while waiting for something to happen and you apparently were that something. It was then obvious that the bright-haired, heavily busted blonde and white-haired man had no more of an idea what was going on than they did. Then how did we end up here? Minato asked, not really expecting any sort of answer as he looked at the bright green forest and crystal clear lake around them. Kushina opened her mouth to reply but she never got the chance to respond. You are all here because I summoned you. A deep voice rumbled from the cover of the trees. They looked up to see a man with crimson hair and eyes step out from the shadows. He walked toward them with a long, quiet stride. They all tensed and stared at the man warily, but their eyes widened when they took the rest of him in. He had a single foxtail that curled slightly behind him and a pair of fox ears atop his head, both the same color as his hair and eyes. Who are you? Kakashi questioned with a slight edge to his voice, placing his hand on top of his kunai pouch out of instinct. The others also adopted tense stances. You do not need to get feisty, boy. My name is Kurama. Kurama answered as he took a seat by the river, slipping his feet in the cool, clear water. Why have you called us here? Tsunade asked, glancing out of the corner of her eye. Everyone else stared warily at the beautiful yet mysterious male. I have called you here to give you a glimpse into the future. You will see what shall happen should you all continue on the paths you walk now, from who you will affect to who you may become close to. He answered in a serious tone. As it is, the future is slowly heading toward a dark and unnecessary path that affects us all. The group present gave him confused stared. He decided to elaborate. I am going to show you one boy's life, as well as a couple of other things that shall make sense over time. I am hoping, by my showing you the future, that you will see the changes that need to be made for all of us, myself included, to survive. He elaborated, staring them down with eyes the color of freshly spilled blood. He raised a clawed hand and it glowed an electric apple green color tinted with flecks of red. He swiped his hand across the water of the lake before them. The clear water rippled as it slowly began to turn dark and make shapes. Hesitantly, they all walked forward and surrounded the intimidating man to get a closer look. When they looked over the man's shoulder into the water, they saw a baby boy with short, tufted blonde hair wrapped loosely in a white blanket as it sat in a figure's arms. They entered the clearing from the shadows of the forest, the little baby being carried in the arms of a shadowed, masked shinobi. Is that him? Another man asked where he waited in the clearing. As the scene came into focus for everyone to see, it was Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage. Sarutobi picked up the wailing boy into his arms gently, a concerned look on his face. Hush now, Naruto, you're going to be fine. Sarutobi murmured quietly, rocking the baby to sleep. What happened to Yondaime? Sarutobi asked slowly, looking over at the ANBU who had carried the boy here. He has died, sir, one ANBU replied, his voice tinged with grief. I see. Sarutobi replied sadly, and then he looked around the almost completely destroyed outskirts of Konoha. Come, we have to do and to get the last Uzumaki checked into the hospital. Sarutobi whispered, face masked but sorrow still showing in his eyes, walking away heading towards the hospital. That can't be, it's impossible, Kushina choked out, her eyes wide as she leaned precariously closer to the water. He can't be an Uzumaki unless she inhaled sharply, shocked as she looked up at Kurama. The crimson-haired man nodded his head slightly. Yes, he's your son Kushina Uzumaki. There was a long moment of silence, and then the red-haired man released a heavy sigh, and the water settled to empty, crystal perfection. I need to gather 2 more people. I shall be back, Kurama informed them, before he stood up and started towards the entrance of the clearing in the woods before he disappeared from sight altogether. How does he do that? Obito asked curiously, still not quite at ease with the whole situation. Tension quickly filled the air, and everyone shared uncertain looks as they simply waited. There was nothing else to do. Kurama returned silently, striding into the clearing and toward the lake was followed by 2 uncertain and more slowly moving figures. Everyone immediately recognized them as Mikoto, Fugaku and their young son Itachi Uchiha, who was being cradled in Mikoto's arms gently. Come, you two, this is vital you see this, and also I request you hand me Itachi, Kurama commanded softly, looking sadly at the small boy in Mikoto's arms. Mikoto hesitantly gave up Itachi as he was lifted into Kurama's arms. Once this was done, Kurama returned to his original place and sat down, then once again swiped his arm across the stream. Everyone looked into the gleaming lake water to see the Uchiha district. A little boy running inside that looked awfully like Mikoto running through the Uchiha district. His little face was contorted in a little frown, and his big eyes flashed with a worried light. Yet, the whole situation still had innocence to it, and the worry wasn't really anything more superficial worry. I better hurry before I'm late and father yells at me again, the boy whispered to himself, as he ran around another corner when he started to slow down some, hesitating. Where is everyone? He thought out loud as he stopped to see his grandma on the floor. Grandma, are you okay? The boy asked, fear showing in his voice for the first time that night. Running to his grandma, who he thought had fallen. The boy tried pushing her up when he noticed the kunai embedded in her back, that had been shielded from him before. Grandma! He shouted, then noticing his grandfather's body in a similar manner, hidden just on the other side of a corner. He closed his eyes tightly and turned around to run all the way back home. He stumbled, eyes clouding over, and hands shaking as he took shaky breaths, running with reckless abandon. Then he stumbled upon a final building. Mother, father! He roared as he stumbled into the house, running all the way to the back room. He opened the door slowly, forever changing his life. That was how he saw his parents dead on the floor, and his father splattered in their blood sheathing his short tanto. Sasuke, his brother called his name. Why? Why Itachi? Why? Sasuke yelled, as tears escaped down his face. What's happening? Mikoto had shakily collapsed onto the floor, face incredulous, and eyes wide with horror. Fugaku had followed her to the floor, holding her, whispering soft comforting tones in his wife's ears as he closed his eyes to stop from showing the sorrow in his own eyes. As everyone else was staring at the sleeping form of the young child that murdered his parents in that vision before them. Foolish little brother, did you honestly expect it to outrun me? I'll let you live, but one day when you have eyes like mine. Come after me, then cling to your pathetic life and seek your vengeance. Itachi whispered, slowly blinking, and activating his Manjikyu Sharingan, the black in his eyes merging. It was only a few seconds, but after longs, pure screams were drawn from him. Sasuke eventually fainted from emotional and psychical exhaustion. He fell to the ground with a small thud, and his expression was still frozen in terror. Our little Ida-chan turns into that monster, Mikoto wailed, quickly taking Itachi from Kurama's arms and pulled him tightly to her chest. He is not truly a monster, Kurama whispered, you'll find that out in a short while. Looking at Fugaku and Mikoto sternly, and then his attention back to the stream. Now we must continue on, Kurama added, even as the expressions of those around him became less sure and more shocked by the second. Again, the water rippled before him, taking on a new form. Man, I don't get it, Naruto muttered, wrapping his arms around his knees and shaking his head. Why does everyone call me a monster? I'm not a monster. Who would call a kid a monster? Fugaku growled out, and causing everyone to look over at the usually stoic clan leader in surprise. The man was ignoring them, staring into the water with a blank face as if he'd never said anything. The blonde rose to his feet and continued down the road until he bumped into a slightly larger figure. Naruto fell to the ground, grunting softly. Watch where you're going, Naruto shouted, glaring up at the person indignantly. It took him a second to recognize the face looking down at him, but the sneering face and dark hair gave it away. You should watch who you're talking to, moron, Sasuke drawled, glaring down at the blonde with ice in his gaze. These two remind me of when Obito and Kakashi used to fight, except Minato thought to himself they're both a lot colder toward each other than Obito and Kakashi were. You're the one who bumped into me, team, Naruto yelled as he jumped to his feet, glaring at Sasuke. Whatever? Sasuke grunted before walking off toward a bridge that crossed a small creek just down the road. Naruto stared at Sasuke for a moment before he scrambled to his feet and followed after him. Sasuke noticed this after a moment, and turned to ask why the blonde was following him, giving him an icy glare at the same time. Because I want to ask you something, Naruto replied, seeming uncertain. Sasuke sighed, then proceeded to ask the blonde what his question was. I know you call me mean names, but you don't call me a monster like the others? Naruto asked with slight hesitance, and a grimace at the end. Why would anyone call that poor boy a monster to begin with is beyond me. Makoto yelled in a shocked voice. They still did not know of the fox sealed inside the young boy, so the situation was that much more appalling to them. Sasuke was surprised at this question but answered it anyway after studying him for a moment. Then his features twisted into a look of disgust. "You're just a worthless idiot," he started, his glare not losing its intensity. "You're nothing like a monster." His glaze dulled and turned far away as if remembering something. "Oh Sasuke." Makoto choked out softly, holding Itachi tightly, as Fugaku let an arm circle around them both. Through the Uchiha clan head's face was still blank and speculating. Naruto looked outraged for a moment at being called an idiot, but he fumbled when he heard the last part. "I see, thank you for not calling me a monster," Naruto said, his face slipping into an uncertain, hopeful look as he turned away. "Naruto," Sasuke called, using his name for the first time. Naruto turned around immediately to look at the other boy. "Yeah, don't assume everyone thinks of you the same way." Sasuke grunted with a blank face. Naruto looked at him in shock but smiled nonetheless. "I guess you're right, Tim." Sasuke returned the blonde's smile with a superior half-smirk/smile of his own. Naruto noticed this was the first time he ever saw the raven-haired boy smile, even if it was closer to a smirk than Naruto's own blinding grin. Kurama stopped the memory right there to look at everyone who had drifted closer the longer they sat and watched. "You may notice in the next couple of scenes something has caused your sons to drift apart," he told them finally, looking at Kushina and the Uchiha couple with an unforgiving gaze. "Why? They seem like good friends to far," Obito pointed out, blinking at the scarlet-haired man and his teams in confusion. "It's probably because they're going to be entering the academy," Kakashi supplied dryly. This caused everyone to look at him since the teen hadn't said a single word since the beginning. His gaze was still on the water and his expression thoughtful, though it was obvious he was still skeptical. "Come on, it is time to begin the next scene," Kurama interrupted as he let a hand drift over the water again. Everyone returned their attention back to the pond, where the next scene seemed to be in a classroom at the academy. "Everyone line up. It's time for the final exam," a man called. He had his hair pulled back into a ponytail and a chunin vest on. They saw a blonde girl and a girl with vibrantly pink hair ogling Sasuke. A boy with a dog on his head was standing next to him, and behind them a boy who looked like had just woke up from a nap, and a boy munching steadily on some chips. Naruto was next, and following after him was a boy wearing a long jacket with a pair of glasses and a girl who looked like a Hyuga, who was staring at Naruto with a blush on her cheeks. "The blonde girl kind of reminds me of Inoichi," Minato murmured without taking his eyes from the scene. Everyone nodded their heads in agreement. The girl went up and performed the clone jutsu perfectly, as did the pink-haired girl. Next up was Sasuke, who sighed as the girl started to squeal when he performed the jutsu flawlessly. Dog Boy went next, stretching his jaws in a wide grin that stretched the marks on his cheeks. Minazuka. Rin realized out loud, remembering the older girl who looked a lot like this boy before them. The next boy went up sluggishly but nailed the jutsu quite perfectly. Shikaka. They all muttered at once, some speaking fondly while others did so in irritation at the lazy behavior. The boy eating chips went next. Chuza. Obito muttered tremulously, shivering and remembering the time when he had called the man fat and was chased all around the Leaf Village that day because of it. "Oh man, Naruto's next," that blonde girl said, scoffing slightly. "We always have to pay for his mistakes." The pink-haired girl grumbled as they both glared at the boy in question. "Shut up," Naruto mumbled as he made his way over to the front. "Gee, good luck, and Naruto," the timid Hyuga managed to choke out, all without looking at him. Naruto looked over at her and smiled. "Thanks, Hinata," he said, oblivious as he caused the girl to flush red. "I smell young love in the air," Kushina sang as she looked over Hinata, nodding in approval. Naruto stood in front of the classroom and began performing the jutsu. When he was done, everyone looked down at the ground and began to laugh at the pathetic clone that looked like it had a deadly illness and was melting. The teacher looked at the young blonde in irritation. "Naruto fail," he grunted. Naruto looked up at him in despair. "Oh, Naruto, just stay strong. Then you'll be able to control some of your chakra," Kushina murmured, watching worriedly as her son slumped over. Her eyes glistened with grief. Naruto walked back into line and fought back tears that threatened to fall. All around him, students chatted loudly as they congratulated one another on becoming genin. No one even looked at Naruto, except the Hyuga heiress, who was standing uncertainly by her desk. The scene changed to when they were outside and everyone was wearing their new headbands except Naruto, who sat on the swing looking at the others sadly. "Why does Iruka-sensei push me so hard?" Naruto asked himself quietly. "That's because he wishes for you to be strong, Naruto," a voice said, making the boy turn around to look. It was a man with pale white hair and mysterious glow around him. He was also wearing a Chunin's uniform. "Mizuki-sensei," Naruto said, blinking. "I think I can tell you a way to pass the exam, Naruto," Mizuki said. "Really?" Naruto half shouted, though he was trying to stay quiet. Mizuki nodded his head and looked around before leaning down to whisper something in his ear. "Why do I have a bad feeling about this?" Tsunade sighed, causing everyone to look over at her. The scene once again changed to where they all saw Sarutobi seated and drinking some tea. "Hokage-sama, there is a problem," an Anbu said quietly as he appeared at the old man's side. "What happened?" he asked while glancing at the ANBU. Naruto seems to have stolen the forbidden scroll. The ANBU told him, and Sarutobi looked at him in surprise. Tell all the jounin to spread out and search for him, Sarutobi ordered urgently, shaking his head and rubbing at his forehead. Right away, Hokage-sama, the ANBU replied, turning away. And tell everyone to bring me Naruto back unharmed, Sarutobi said, his voice cold, and with the threat the ANBU disappeared. The Sandaime looked over at a picture hanging on the wall in the shadows, of whose face they couldn't see. What should I do with your son, Yondaime? Sarutobi asked as he smiled sadly to himself. The boy's a walking trouble magnet. The scene faded into black and then opened onto a new scene, darker and in a secluded forest. The first thing to be seen was Naruto looking through the forbidden scroll. Naruto. A voice growled behind him and the boy turned, blinking. What were you thinking when you stole the forbidden scroll? Irika asked, coming from behind his student and startling Naruto slightly. The boy rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Everyone looked in surprise at the appearance of the Chunin Academy teacher. How did he manage to find the kids so quickly? Jiraiya asked. Everyone shrugged their shoulders. It looks like you caught me, Irika-sensei, Naruto said tiredly, and that was when Irika looked at the child's worn-out and chakra-drained face. Naruto, what are you doing out here anyway? Irika asked. Naruto looked up at his ponytail-wearing sensei. Mizuki-sensei said if I master at least one jutsu in the scroll, I could pass the exam. Mizuki. Irika spat coldly, looking at Naruto shocked. Naruto nodded his head in confusion. Yes, he indeed said my name, Irika. Mizuki chuckled as he emerged from the shadows of the trees. Mizuki, what were you thinking? Irika shouted incredulously. It's simple, really. You just got to think about it, Mizuki said as he jumped down from the tree and started walking over to them. Naruto, do you wish to know why everyone hates you? Mizuki asked, gaze poisonous and his smirk cold. We all would like to know. Jiraiya shouted at the water, though the man wouldn't reply back to him. Everyone nodded their heads in agreement but were all too intent on watching to really shout an opinion like the Sannin did. Why? Naruto asked, scooting back a little and his face hesitant. Mizuki, you must not tell him, Irika yelled, his face full of panic. The Hokage has forbid it. Mizuki ignored the other Chunin. It is because on the day you were born the nine-tailed fox was released and went on a rampage, destroying the village, and that very same monster now lives inside you. Mizuki spat out. Naruto looked devastated, scrambling to his feet and shaking his head, wavering for a moment before he took the scroll and sprinted into the forest. No! Kushina yelled in surprise, gasping slightly as she spun to stare at the red-haired man looking at her stoically. Does this mean that you died and released the nine tails? Then, yes, you did die and Naruto was next in line, the only one able to contain it. Kurama finished. The group around him blinked in shock, mouths wide as they blinked slightly. Naruto, wait! Irika called while trying to run after his student. A giant kunai flew toward him, hitting him in the leg, and causing him to fall to the ground. I have to get rid of you now, Irika. Mizuki purred with a smirk, pulling another kunai from the holster on his leg and swinging it down at Irika in a vicious arch. That's when an orange blur came and knocked Mizuki away from Irika, causing both men to blink in shock. That's it! Come on, Naruto! Show him who's boss! Obito cheered as he thrust a fist into the air. You're not going to lay a finger on my sensei! Naruto growled out, giving the man a deadly glare. I will kill you! You and what army? Mizuki snorted, sneering at the boy as he spun a kunai around a finger. I'm glad you asked? Naruto grinned, throwing his hands together in a simple seal. Multi-shadow clone jutsu! He shouted and smoke began to pour into the forest around them. All of us! The Naruto army shouted. They all ran up to Mizuki simultaneously and began to beat him up, and the sound of the man screaming echoed through the forest. Once this was done, the sun began to rise, slowly illuminating the forest. Naruto, come here! Irika called. Naruto walked over to him and Irika pulled off his headband and tied it around the boy's forehead. Congratulations, Naruto. You passed. Irika congratulated, closing his eyes as he gave the boy a giant, genuine smile. Yay! Kushina and Obito cheered. Hello, everyone, Naruto said, shocking everyone as he stepped foot into the room. Naruto, I thought you were too stupid to pass, Sakura said. I have a feeling this girl is going to annoy me. Kushina murmured to herself, but Rin and Tsunade heard her. I agree with Lady Kushina, Rin commented as she looked over at Lady Tsunade, who was analyzing the young pinkette. She seems to have some good chakra control from the looks of it, Tsunade said. Yeah, that girl does, Mikoto said. She was smirking as Naruto nearly fell over. You're so cruel, Sakura-chan, Naruto murmured as he stood up and tried to regain some of his hurt pride. Yeah, Naruto! Don't let the female power get you down, Obito yelled with pride. The girls glared at him while the guys smirked slightly. Naruto went to go sit over by Sakura, who was sitting on the side of Sasuke in the front of him. Oh my gosh! Sasuke is so cool, Naruto heard some girl gossip to her friends. Fangirls, Kakashi thought, remembering the fangirls that harassed him while he was at school. He felt pity for Sasuke for having to endure it as well. Naruto's eyes tightened and he walked over to Sasuke and stood in front of him, analyzing him. What is so special about this guy anyway? Naruto thought. He didn't see nor hear the guy that walked behind him bumping him forward. Naruto and Sasuke lips crashed together. Oh my gosh, your son took my son's first kiss. Kushina screamed loudly. No, your son deflowered mine, as you could have seen. Fugaku growled at Kushina. Don't fight now. Minato told the two of them sternly. Jiraiya started to laugh all of a sudden. What are you laughing about, Jiraiya-sensei? Minato asked, looking over at his sensei. You just acted like they were your children and you were their mother. Jiraiya told him before he continued to laugh at Minato, who blushed slightly. It's okay, Minato. You would make an excellent parent. Kurama told him. Does this mean I have a child in the future? Minato asked excitedly. I am not in liberty to say as of now. Kurama replied, avoiding Minato's gaze. Their eyes went wide with surprise as they broke away from each other. Naruto! All of Sasuke fangirls screamed, running after Naruto in a fit of rage. Run, Naruto, run! Obito and Kakashi screamed at the same time, hoping that Naruto got away safely, as everyone stared at them weirdly. Naruto gulped as he ran when Iruka-sensei walked into the room. Everyone settled down, Iruka said, walking towards his desk as he pushed Naruto to go find his seat. Once Naruto sat down, Iruka pulled out a scroll. Listen up. You will be grouped into your 3-man teams and you will meet your new sensei later today, Iruka said as he began reading the names of the teams. Hey Kakashi, isn't this Iruka kid a year younger than us now? Obito asked Kakashi, looking over at him. Yeah, he is now that you mention it, Kakashi said, nodding his head. Team 10 is Yamaka Ino, Nara Shikamaru, and Akimichi Chuji, Iruka said, reading the first team. Ah man, why am I stuck with you guys? Ino groaned, laying her head on the desk. Never mind that pink-haired girl. Inoichi's daughter seems much worse, Rin told them bluntly. You're one to talk, princess. Shikamaru grimaced as he looked down at the blonde girl. That's Shika's son, all right, Tsunade said, smiling. Team 8 is Abirame Shino, Inazaka Kiba, and Hinata Hyuga, Iruka said, looking over at the other new team. Yeah, we're going to be the coolest team ever, right Hinata? Kiba said excitedly. Hinata smiled slightly and nodded her head as Shino moved over to sit next to them. Team 7 is Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha. Iruka managed to get out before a whole bunch of girls started yelling. Why does Sasuke have to be with Billboard Brow? Ino whined. These girls are so annoying. I'm glad I never acted like that, right guys? Rin asked, looking at her teammates that avoided her gaze. Yeah, Obito and Kakashi lied, still not meeting Rin's eyes. What did you say, Ino pig? Sakura hissed, standing up and slamming her hands on the table. Be quiet so I can get the last team member, then you guys can argue all you want, Iruka yelled and everyone went silent. Good. Now the last team member on that team is Naruto Uzumaki. Iruka was finally able to get out. Even the loser is on Sasuke-sama's team, one snobby girl shouted. Oh, she didn't just insult him, Kushina said, standing up glaring at the snobby girl. Enough. Everyone come and pick up your scroll to find where you're going to meet your teacher at, Iruka told them as he let out a heavy sigh as the teams started coming up to get their scrolls one by one. Where is he? We have been waiting here for hours, Naruto groaned as he slammed his head on the couch. I wonder who could be their teacher? Kakashi asked, looking at the others who simply shrugged their shoulders. Yeah, they've been there for the longest time now, Obito said. For once, I agree with you, Naruto. This guy is taking way too long, Sakura commented. That's when the door opened. Finally, he gets here, Kushina yelled, throwing her hand in the air. And the eraser that Naruto set as a trap earlier fell and hit their new senseis on the head. Who would fall for that? They sure must be losing their edge, Rin commented. Kurama smirked but didn't say a word. Naruto and Sakura broke out into a fit of laughter, and even Sasuke smirked a little. Ah, the old eraser trick, their new teacher said, fully coming into view. He had snow-white hair, and his headband covered one of his eyes. Oh my gosh! It's you, Kakashi! Minato yelled as looked from his pupil to his all-grown-up pupil. I look so cool, Kakashi murmured to himself, smirking at how cool he grew up. Man, you look old, Obito said, as Kakashi glared at him. Let's begin, shall we? You shall state your name and something about yourself. I'll start. My name's is Kakashi Hataki and I like Ika Paradise. Oh no, my Kakashi became a pervert, Minato murmured to himself. Ah, my young reader, you will soon learn everything to earning a woman's heart, Jiraiya said proudly. Kakashi turned away from everyone, trying to hide the blush that crept up onto his face. Kakashi told his students. You're up next, Kakashi commented, looking over at Sakura. My name is Sakura Haruno, and I hate Naruto. Sakura finished, causing Naruto to fall out of his chair. Blondie, you're up, Kakashi told him as he looked down at Naruto. I'm Naruto Uzumaki and I will be the next Hokage, believe it, Naruto yelled. Not another person claiming they will become Hokage. Fugaku groaned as he looked from Minato and Kushina. Mikoto just patted her husband's shoulder softly, pointing at Kakashi, who simply nodded his head then turned to look over at Sasuke. My name is Sasuke Uchiha and my dream, no, my will is to kill a certain someone, Sasuke told them. Oh Sasuke. Mikoto sighed sadly, looking down at Itachi, who laid sleeping in her arms, as he had his hands folded together while leaning in towards the group. We will meet tomorrow at Training Ground 7 at 6 o'clock a.m. And don't eat anything, Kakashi told them, and with a huge puff of smoke he was gone. Hey Sakura-chan, do you want to walk home together? Naruto asked. Not on your life. But Sasuke, do you dash? Sakura replied before turning around to face Sasuke, who had already left. Where is he? He's late. Naruto groaned as he leaned against the tree. You were late? Rin and Obito asked in shock as they looked over at their usually on-time teammate. I must have a good reason to be late, Kakashi said. For once, I agree with you, Naruto. It's been 3 hours, Sakura commented. Sasuke simply sit next to a different tree with his eyes closed. That's when they say their sensei slowly making his way over to them. You're late. Sakura and Naruto yelled in unison, pointing at Kakashi. Sorry. As I was coming here I saw an old lady that needed my help. Kakashi rambled on about his lie. Liar! Sakura and Naruto screamed furiously. Let's begin your training, Kakashi said. The 3 genin stood in front of him with serious looks on their faces. It is a very simple test. You must take these 2 bells away from me by lunchtime, or you will be sent back to the academy. But I only have 2 bells. So only 2 of you will be able to stay, even if you manage to take the bells. Kakashi, finished with his explanation, pulled out a little orange book and began to read. Isn't that the same method you use for us to work as a team, Minato-sensei? Rin asked. Yes. It is, Minato answered, looking over at Kakashi and smiling. Let's handle this one-on-one, Naruto announced cockily before running up to Kakashi, trying to throw a punch. Kakashi grabbed his fist and threw his own punch, which hit a substitution as Naruto hit on top of a tree. The blonde looked down at his sensei, preparing his next attack. You know you need to be more stealthy, Kakashi advised his student from behind, scaring him and causing him to fall out of the tree. Naruto quickly did a backflip and landed on his feet. Where did he go? Naruto wondered to himself as he looked around for his silver-haired sensei. Leaf Village Secret Jutsu, 1,000 Years of Death, Kakashi said, poking Naruto in his butthole, causing him to scream loudly and jump far away from his sensei. Everyone burst out laughing. Rin and Obito fell to the ground, clutching their sides. Oh come on. It's not that funny, Kakashi said as he turned his head away to hide his embarrassment. You know you just molested a 12-year-old. Jiraiya told Kakashi as he wiped his tears away from laughing so hard. I can't believe I'm teaching a mini-pedo, Minato joked. That set everyone off again. Stop laughing, Kakashi yelled. Sakura sighed as she watched the scene unfold. She watched Naruto fly off somewhere, and when she returned her gaze over to Kakashi, she found that he was missing. Where'd he go? Sakura asked, getting up and out of her hiding space to go hunt for him. She started to walk off in a random direction when her sensei appeared right in front of her, pulling her into a genjutsu. When Sakura opened her eyes, she saw Sasuke standing right in front of her. Sasuke. That's when kunai and shuriken started to fly at Sasuke, hitting him all over. Sasuke looked over at her as he was injured and bleeding profusely. Sakura let out a scream of terror before falling down the ground like a rag doll. Everyone simply stared at this girl as if she was plain stupid for falling for that trick. Man, this girl is giving us female ninjas bad names even if she is a beginner, Rin said. Sasuke watched Sakura fall down to the ground and he let out a sigh before he jumped out to show himself. Oh. You saved me the trouble of having to look for you, Kakashi said apathetically as he turned a page in his book. Let's get this over with, Sasuke demanded as he took a fighting stance. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Using his first fingers, he held them in a circle in front of his mouth, and breathing a giant fireball. He executed that jutsu perfectly, Obito said in awe as Fugaku looked at his youngest with pride. Mikoto looked on in worry. Kakashi jumped out of the way before he tried to hit Sasuke, which he turned into a substitution. Fire style, multi-fireball jutsu, Sasuke called from above as he launched a technique that sent out a bunch of mini fireballs in rapid succession. The attack caught Kakashi off guard, causing him to get hit and fall to the floor. Sasuke smirked as he saw Kakashi on the floor. He made his way over and tried to grab a bell when his hand was grabbed and Sasuke was thrown into a hole. Fugaku looked at his son and smiled, but Kakashi still held a smirk on her face. Sasuke coughed as the dust cleared and he saw his body was under the ground. Stay there until I come back, Kakashi ordered cheerfully as he walked away from Sasuke. Fugaku looked at Kakashi surprised, and Kakashi just continued to smirk at his future self. Sakura woke up and started to look around. Oh no! I have to find Sasuke, Sakura said as she got up and started to run in a random direction until she heard Sasuke calling her name. Sasuke! Sakura gasped, turning around excitedly as she looked down just to see Sasuke's head sticking out of the ground. She screamed in horror before fainting again. Completely useless, Sasuke murmured as he watched her faint. I agree, Rin agreed as she shook her head at the girl. Naruto was wondering by the 3 poles where he saw the 4 lunches. I bet if I eat one, I will gain my energy to eat a bell, Naruto told himself as he grabbed a lunch boxes and was about to eat it when he looked up to see Kakashi. He let out a scream. Kakashi tied him to a pole before going to get Sasuke and Sakura. I might not send you guys back to the academy after all, Kakashi told them. Really? All I did was run and faint. You give points for that? Sakura asked. Alright. Naruto yelled from he was tied up at. I think I'm going to drop all 3 of you guys from the program immediately. Kakashi informed them with a smile on his face. Kakashi, that's so cruel. Kushina told him. Hey! Don't go blaming me from them being stupid. Kakashi yelled at her. Stop yelling. We're trying to watch. Tsunade growled at them. Their faces all turned devastated. You can't do that. You can't just change your mind about sending us back to the academy. Why would you do that? Naruto yelled in protest. Because you don't think like ninjas. You think like little kids, like brats. Kakashi stated simply. Sasuke got mad and ran at Kakashi, who flipped him over and slammed into the ground, pinning him with a knee in the middle of the preteen's back. You think it's all a game. Kakashi continued while Sasuke continued to struggle. Let go of Sasuke. You can't hold him down like some type of bug. Sakura yelled. That girl is so annoying. Rin hissed. You don't know what it means to be a ninja. You think it's a game? Kakashi asked. Why do you think we put you on squads? Did you ever consider that for one moment? What do you mean? Sakura questioned. I mean you never realized what this exercise was about. Not even close. Kakashi stated. You've gotten way too serious about your job, Kakashi. Obito told him. What's it about? Naruto asked in confusion. It determines whether you pass or fail, but that's what I wanted to ask in the beginning. Sakura said slowly. Wow, were we really like that, Minato-sensei? Obito asked. Minato nodded his head and all his students seemed to get a little depressed. Use your head. 3 people on the squad. Why do you think they do that? Kakashi quizzed them with frustration clear in his voice. Arg. How are we supposed to know why you pick 3 people? We didn't make up the rules. Naruto yelled, wanting to pull at his hair. It's so basic. Kakashi finally resorted to yelling. Teamwork. They all looked at him, shocked. To work together, that's what you mean. Sakura restated. Didn't he just say that? Rin sighed. That's what I meant. Too late now, though. If all 3 of you had come at me, you might have been able to take them. Well, anyways, it's over. Kakashi finalized. Wait a minute. Sakura suddenly said. You set it up with 3 people but only 2 bells. If we worked together, only 2 of us would have gotten the bells, which would have led to group conflict and the squad would break up. Exactly. I purposely pinned you against one another. Kakashi told them. They all looked at him in confusion. I wanted to see if you could overcome that and put the squad ahead of yourselves. A genin should have a natural feel for teamwork, but it never even crossed your mind. Sakura, you obsessed about Sasuke the whole time instead of helping Naruto, who was right in front of you. I'm glad I wasn't so obsessive. Rin sniffed with a hair flip. Kakashi and Obito chuckled uneasily. Naruto, you do everything rashly and by yourself, everything. So harsh. Obito commented. And you, Sasuke? You thought the others were so far beneath you that they were worthless. Your arrogance will get you killed one day. Ninjas are in squads because it is better to face enemies with teammates who have your book than to be stupid and face them alone and get killed. Yes, their individual skills are valued, but when you put a team together whose skills complement each other, then you have a force to be reckoned with. Every shinobi understands this. When people put themselves above the squad, it can lead to failure or death. Kakashi said as he pulled out a kunai from his pouch. For example, Sakura, kill Naruto now or Sasuke dies. Kakashi! Everyone yelled as they glared at the white-haired teen. What are you blaming me for? I haven't done it yet. Kakashi yelled back. Sakura looked at him with her eyes wide and mouth to the ground. Naruto started rapidly looking back and forth between Sakura and Kakashi. That is what happens when on a mission. Kakashi explained, removing his kunai. Sasuke looked rather relieved when he moved the kunai. That was really scary. Sakura gulped. Naruto let out a sigh of relief. The enemy takes a hostage and gives you an ultimatum. Someone could end up dead. Kakashi was dead serious as he spun a kunai around his finger before putting it away for good. On every mission your life is on the line. Kakashi got off of Sasuke and started to walk away. Did you ever look at the stone and see the names engraved on it? They're all ninja who are honored as heroes in our village. Kakashi said, seemingly there but not. That's it. I know now. I've decided I'm going to have my name engraved on that stone. I'm not going to live and die for nothing like a dog. I'm going to be a hero. Naruto shouted. They're a special kind of hero. Huh? What kind of heroes are they? Come on, tell us. Well? Naruto asked. They're all Kia. That sounds really cool. Everyone looked at Kushina in wonder. It means killed in action. Sakura deadpanned. They're all dead. Naruto's eyes widened in shock and he looked away in shame. This is a memorial stone. Kakashi's voice took on a melancholy tone. My closest friends, comrades, and even my sensei's names are engraved here. Wait. So he died? Rin cried in shock. Obito looked down at the ground with a blank look on his face. Minato looked over to Kakashi, who didn't say a word. All right. I'm going to give you all one more chance, but I'm going to make it harder on you. You will have 3 hours to get a bell. Eat lunch now to gain some strength, but do not give Naruto any. It is his punishment for breaking rules and trying to eat by yourself, and, if anyone tries to feed him, that person will immediately fail. Kakashi told them. Naruto groaned in protest. I make the rules and you get to follow them. Got it? Good. Kakashi disappeared with a small poof of smoke. Sasuke and Sakura began eating quietly when Naruto's stomach rumbled loudly. Sasuke held his lunch out to Naruto. No, Sasuke, if you do that you'll fail. Sakura gasped. Kakashi's gone and we need to get those bells as a team. If Naruto's hungry, he'll be even weaker than usual and that will hurt the time, which jeopardizes the mission. Sasuke explained in a bored tone. Mikoto was proud that her son was willing to be sent back to help out a friend. Sakura sighed as she went over to Naruto and gave him some of her lunch. Kakashi suddenly appeared along with a harsh wind. You broke the rules. He intoned with a scary look on his face. I hope you're ready for the punishment. Unknown to them, Kakashi started a jutsu which made thunderclouds appear and lightning strike behind him. Any last words? We're all in this together. Sasuke said. Yeah. We're all in this together. Sakura yelled with determination though her body was shaking like a leaf in the wind. Yeah, that's right. Believe it. Naruto stated proudly. The 3 of you are one? That's your excuse? The 3, well 2 of them took a fighting stance on either side of Naruto. You're still way too serious about everything, Kakashi. Obito commented. You pass. Kakashi said out of the blue as the sky cleared. They blinked in confusion. How did we pass? Sakura asked. You were the first squad to ever pass because you actually managed to think for yourselves. All the others always followed my rules, no questions asked. They clearly weren't ready. A ninja must see through deception, for in the ninja world that is one of your greatest assets. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. You're going to be a great sensei, Kakashi. Minato complimented proudly. Kakashi smiled from under his mask and nodded his head. What are you showing us next, Kurama? Kushina asked. I'll be showing you their very first official mission. Kurama informed them. What is it ranked? Obito questioned. Rank C, Kurama said. Would not that be too hard for a genin teen? Minato asked. Kurama shook his head. The third believed this mission would not be so hard for them to protect the man to the village near the border of the water and fire country. Kurama commented. So wait, you're basically telling us this mission is not how it seems. Kakashi concluded. Exactly. Kurama. Our son are getting into a lot of trouble, Mikoto said as she rocked little Itachi in her arms. Kushina couldn't agree with her more than she ever could. Don't worry, everything will be fine in the end, hopefully. Fugaku reassured his wife. Yeah, it's not like Kakashi is going to let them die, Jiraiya says, laughing, trying to ease the tension in the air. Tsunade hit him aside the head for that comment. They all turned around to the lake to see them walking across a bridge. He appeared to reach a clearing when the 2 assassins came out from a puddle, lunging at Kakashi, wrapping him up in chains, and started to pull back on the chains, causing him to grunt slightly. They tugged even harder to rip him apart. Kakashi, you should have took those guys out, Obito said as the others nodded their heads agreeing with them. Sakura gasped in distress, while Naruto yelled at their sensei. Then the 2 assassins came behind Naruto ready to strike him down. Naruto froze in fear while Sasuke jumped into action. Obito shuddered. He remembered his first real mission and he froze up at the start of the battle. Obito adjusted his goggles over his eyes. Sasuke pulled out 1 kunai and 1 shuriken and threw it at the chain that tied the 2 assassins together, nailing them to a tree. I can't get free, one of the 2 assassins said as Sasuke landed on their arms, kicking them apart. Fugaku said as he watched his youngest son fight. Mikoto looked at him worriedly, hoping her little boy is alright, causing the chain to snap. The assassin broke up into 2. One ran at Naruto while the other ran towards Sakura and the man they were supposed to be guarding. The man closed in on the man and Sakura jumped in front of him, protecting him with a kunai at hand, bracing herself to fight as he closed in on her. But Sasuke quickly moved in to protect them both. He just like Kakashi, Rin thought as she remembered all the times she stood to protect someone. He would always jump in front to protect her from any type of damage. But as soon as he was mere centimeters away from Sasuke, Kakashi appeared and held the man in a chakra hold while the other lay limp in his other arm. They were all surprised to see him. Hi, Kakashi greeted. Kakashi-sensei is alive, Sakura said happily. Of course, otherwise he would have never been a jounin, Rin said, glaring at Sakura. Come on now, Rin, it was their first time in battle, cut them so slack, Kushina said to the young girl. Show off, Sasuke thought. Everyone started to burst out into laughter beside Kakashi, as his ears flamed red in embarrassment. As Naruto looked at Kakashi shocked, he looked over to see Long's where he thought Kakashi-sensei had been torn to shreds. Kakashi then noticed that Naruto had a cut on his hand. I didn't mean for you to get hurt, I just didn't know you would freeze up like that, Kakashi said before he started to walk away, heading towards the other. Very good, Sasuke, very smooth, you to Sakura, Kakashi commented. He already picked a favorite, Jiraiya said as he looked at Sasuke with a small frown. It dawned on Naruto that he was completely useless in this fight. They started to walk away. Hey, Sasuke said, gaining Naruto attention. Yeah, Naruto replied. You're not hurt, are you, scary cat? Sasuke asked, looking at Naruto cockily. The Uchiha couple sighed, knowing how cock their son was didn't compare to Fugeki's own ego any day. Naruto glared heatedly at Sasuke. Sasuke, Naruto, stay still, these ninja had poison in their claws, we need to take it out of you quickly. Kakashi says. Naruto gasped as he lifted his arm up to his face. The poison is lethally, so don't try to move it around so much so it doesn't get into your bloodstream. By the way, we need to talk. Kakashi said, turning to face the man they were guarding. The man gulped sand, looked slightly nervous. When they had the men tied tightly to the tree, they began to talk. These are ninja, form the hidden mist village. The specialty is relentless attack. They keep fighting no matter the sacrifice. Kakashi informed them. Wait, you said this was a C-class mission, not a B rank or higher, that could all die. Minato yelled at Kurama. I'm not the one that assigned the mission, they didn't even know until this very point. Kurama explained. How did you know about our ambush? One assassin asked. A puddle on a clear day, and it has not rained in weeks. Kakashi told them bluntly. Yeah, that is pretty obvious, that the worst ambush ever. Obito said as he put his hands on the back of his head and titled backwards some. Then in that case, why did you leave it to the genin to fight? Tazuma asked Kakashi. I could have taken them out quickly, then I would have learned nothing. I had to know who their target was and what they were after. Kakashi told him, looking suspiciously over at Mr. Tazuma. What are you getting at? Tazuma questioned. You're a lie-ass person that could have lost children their lives. Mikoto seethed, glaring at the man. I wanted to know if they were after us ninja of the leaf or if they were after you, the master bridge builder. In your request you asked for standard guards from robbers and businessmen. You didn't say there was ninja after you, hunting you down. If we knew this, it would have been a B rank mission or higher, but our task was simply escort you to the destination and protect while you were finished building your bridge. If we knew that we would be attacked by ninja, we would have staffed differently and cost you of a B mission. Apparently you have your reason, but lying to use was not acceptable, and now we are at the scope of this mission. Kakashi ranted. That probably the longest time I ever heard Kakashi talk. Tsunade commented. As everyone began to laugh once again. Oh, be quiet, I can talk a lot if I want to. Kakashi pouted. We're just genin. This is too advanced for our level of training. We should go back, and we really need to treat Naruto's wound and get the poison out as soon as possible. Back our village, we could take him to the doctor. Sakura told him. She is right. Rin said as she looked at Naruto sadly. Naruto's hand could become a problem. I guess we should go back to the village. Kakashi grunted. Naruto gritted his teeth. Naruto pulled out a kunai and stabbed himself in the arm. What is he doing? Kushina yelled. He getting rid of the fear by causing pain to allure himself away from fear. Obito said. Minato looked at his student and wondered how did he know this in all their mission. He never once saw or even heard of this. Why am I so different? Why am I a... Naro asked. Naruto. Stop that, what are you doing? Sakura yelled at him. I worked so hard to get here, pushing myself till it hurt, training alone for hours, anything to get stronger, to reach my dream. I'll never back down again and let someone else rescue me. I'll never run away and I'll not lose to Sasuke. I make this pledge on this wound. A ninja never goes back, oh his word, and neither will I. Don't you worry about me, I'll be fine and let's go. Naruto said. Kushina smiled sadly at her son, wishing she could have been there for him. Naruto, that was really cool how you took the poison out and all, but if you lose any more blood you're going to die. Kakashi said, then began to freak out. Everyone laughed as they watched Naruto run around holding his hand out like he was a puppy with a broken paw. It might be a good idea to stop the bleeding now, Kakashi said. Then Naruto began to run around frantically. I'm too young, no, too old to die. Naruto cried. Show me your hand, Kakashi said. Naruto, you have a self-abusing problem, and it called masochism, Sakura told him. Tsunade smirked at this young girl. Even though she was annoying, she did have a good head on her shoulders. Kakashi examined the wounded to see that the wound was already completely healed. You have a really scary look on your face, am I okay? Naruto asked. Yeah, you should be, Kakashi says. This healing power, is it from the nine-tailed fox? Kakashi thought as he continued to bandage Naruto's hand. The scene suddenly changed to a dingy misty forest, and a group of mist ninja were there, and two men in business suit. What do you mean you failed? You're supposed to be a top-notch assassin. The short man with a black suit said, with blonde puffy hair wearing a pair of sunglasses said. Who is he? Minato's team asked in unison. Fugaku stared at the picture for a long time as he was trying to remember who that guy was. Oh, be quiet, if you want to find out, a man said as he appeared to have bandages around his mouth as he swung his sword to point it at the man. It showed a man with bandages around his mouth, cow print legging and armbands, and had blue jeans and black belt that went around his torso. Don't worry this time, I will go personally, and this time this sword will be the last thing he will ever see, the unknown man said. They have a very advanced ninja guarding him, it won't be so easy, the man said. Who do you think you're dealing with? I'm Zabuza Mamachi, the demon of the hidden mist. The man introduced himself. That is not good, Fugaku said. What wrong, Fugaku? Minato asked. That man is one of the 7 swordsmen, Fugaku explained. Who are they? Rin asked. There are ruthless mist ninja that carry a weapon like a sword and are very strong and formidable. Tsunade shared. Then are they going to be alright? Obito questioned as he looked over at Kurama. Only the time will tell, Kurama said. So what is the next part going to be about, Kurama? Jiraiya asked the fox man. You shall see, Kurama said mysteriously. Sasuke, I'm in point B, Sasuke commented. Sakura, I'm in point C, Sakura said next. Naruto, in point A, believe it, Naruto said happily. Believe it? Minato said to himself, wondering why Naruto kept saying this all the time. It's his catchphrase. Kurama answered. Minato looked over at him shocked while Kurama just pointed to his ears. Go slow, Naruto, move out squad 7. Kakashi said. The target has moved, go after it, Kakashi said urgently, as the black figure jumped and started running into the bushes. What is it? Mikoto wondered as she and her husband looked at their son who was hiding behind a tree. Naruto and his team cautiously stalked over to hide behind the tiers. Over there, Naruto whispered. What's your distance from the target? Kakashi asked. 5 meters. Naruto responded. I'm ready, just give me the signal. I'm ready too, Sasuke added. So am I, Sakura finished. Okay now, Kakashi yelled as his team quickly responded to his command, jumping for their target. Kakashi, you've gotten overdramatic as time went by, Obito said as he looked at his teammate. I got him. I got him, Naruto said as he held the cat by his stomach. All that over a stupid cat? Kushina asked as Kurama merely nodded his head as the other began to laugh. The cat started to fight back, scratching Naruto all over his face. Did you confirm that the cat had a red ribbon on his neck? Kakashi asked. Ah! Naruto screamed as the cat continued its assault on his face, while Sakura just smiled as she watched her teammate get attacked by the cat. I hate cats, Minato said as he glared at the cat Naruto was holding. We got a positive ID, Sasuke responded. Lost pet Tora captured, mission accomplished, Kakashi concluded. Can we get a better mission than this? Naruto yelled in outrage as Kakashi nearly fell over because of the sudden outburst. Not even we had such lame missions, Rin added. That because we're at war, Rin, Tsunade added. I hate cats, Naruto yelled as he successfully caused Kakashi to fall over. Fugaku looked from Naruto then back at Minato, wondering if he could possibly be this kid's father. Once they were back at the Leaf Village. Oh, I'm so happy my Tora is safe and sound, a fat lady said as she rubbed her face next to the cat as the cat was crying in distress. Ha ha ha, stupid cat, that kitty deserves to be squashed, Naruto laughed. No wonder that cat ran away, Sakura added as she looked at that cat pitifully. The boat kept roaring through the dense fog as everyone kept their eyes on Mr. Tazuma. I have no choice but to tell you now. I want you to know the truth. Like you said, this is beyond the scope of the original mission. The one who seeks my life is a very short man who cast a very long and dead. Why, Shadow, Tazuma informed them as he lifted his head to look up at them. A shadow? Kakashi said. A deadly shadow? Kakashi inquired as he rose an eyebrow at the man. Stop repeating yourself, Obito joked as Kakashi glared at him. Tazuma grunted. Kakashi copied the man. Who is it? Kakashi asked. You know him, or I'm positive you've heard his name before, Tazuma stated as he began to sweat slightly. He is one of the wealthiest men in the world, the shipping magnate Gato, Tazuma finished as Kakashi's eye widened in surprise. Gato, of Gato Transport, he is a business leader, everyone knows him, Kakashi stated. Who is that? Minato asked as he looked at the others who shrugged their shoulders. Fugaku sighed. He in famous business that just stared to take off. Fugaku informed them. Who? What? Naruto asked, looking at his teacher curiously. Tazuma shifted his gaze over to Naruto. Jiraiya stared at Naruto, then looked over to his student, and wondered if Minato could be this kid's father. Gato is a very powerful tycoon from a famous company, but below the surface, he uses the same ruthless methods. He used to take over business and nations. He sells drugs and cartels and ninja, Tazuma informed them as he closed his eyes. It was 1 year ago, when Gato first set his eyes on the land of waves, he came to our island. He used his vast wealth to take full control of our transport and shipping. Anyone who tried to stand in his way simply disappeared. An island in the sea controls everything. Fiancé and government are very alive. But there is one thing: he forgot the bride that will join us with the lands, and that will break his control, and I'm the bridge builder. Tazuma finished. That man is no good whatsoever, Rin stated as Kushina nodded her head in agreement. The 3 genins stared at him. So since you are in charge of the bridge, you're getting into the gangster way, Sakura concluded as she placed her hand at the bottom of her chin and stroked it softly. So that means those guys who fought in the forest was working for Gato, Sasuke stated, turning to look at his teammates. This mission is getting more and more dangerous by the second, Tsunade thought. Naruto said, crossing his arms as he began to analyze this new information. I don't understand. If you knew he was dangerous, he would send ninja to eliminate you. Why did you hide that from us? Kakashi questioned as he looked over at Mr. Tazuma. Because the land of waves is a small and impoverished nation, even our nobles have little money, Tazuma said as he looked down at the bottom of the boat. There are common people who are building this bridge, They can't pay for an A or B rank mission, it's too expensive. If you end the mission when you drop me ashore, there will be no more bridge. They will assassinate me before I reach my home, but don't feel bad about that. My sweet little grandson, he will cry, Granddad, Granddad. I want my granddad. Tazuma mimicked his grandson tone. He tormenting them. Kushina said. Naruto and Sakura squirmed in their seats as they looked at Mr. Tazuma. Oh, and my daughter would blame the leaf for abandoning her father and living her life in sorrow. Tazuma added as Sakura and Naruto looked down at their hands. Oh well, it's not your fault, Tazuma said. Way to give them the guilt trip. Obito said. Oh well, then we have no choice but to keep guarding you. Kakashi said as he lifted his hands up in defeat. Oh, I'm very grateful, Tazuma said as he smirked evilly. I win. He thought. He not even sincere. Kakashi told them. We're approaching the shore. The boat attendant informed them as they roared on. Tazuma, we have to be fortunate, so far. The boat attendant said. Nice going. Tazuma said as they approached and entered a tunnel, but once they reached the end they saw the beginnings of a small village suspended on top of water. Yeah! Naruto yelled as they approached the shore. Once they docked, Tazuma and Team 7 got off the boat. This is as far as I go, good luck. The boat attendant said. Right, thank you for taking such a risk. Tazuma responded as he nodded his head at the other man. The boat attendant nodded his head and drove away. Alright, take me to my home, get me there in one piece, Tazuma told them. Right. Kakashi said as they started to walk away. The next ninja they send won't be a Chunin but a Jonin with deadly skill. Kakashi thought as he closed his one visible eye and let out a sigh as they continued to walk towards Tazuma house. I think it going to be that Zabuza guy who might come. Rin predicted. I agree with Rin, they better be careful. Mikoto said. Ugh, next time, I won't let Sasuke take all the glory, believe it. Naruto thought as he ran ahead slightly. This reminds me of Obito and on a first mission with his rivalry with Kakashi. Minato thought. He glanced around frantically before throwing a kunai towards a bush, over there. Naruto said. Everyone looked at him with surprise before they looked over at the bush. It was just a mouse. Naruto said as Sakura mad Tazuma were shaking with anger and Sasuke and Kakashi simply stared at him. Mouse, yeah right, everyone could see through your stupid acted embracing. Sakura yelled, jabbing her finger towards him. Naruto, those are kunai knives, those are very dangerous. Kakashi told him. Humph, Sasuke snorted. I think he knows that, Kakashi. Kushina told him. Stop trying to scare me, you scruffy old dwarf. Tazuma yelled at Naruto, shaking with visible anger. Stop yelling at my son. Kushina yelled at Tazuma. Hey, is someone over there or is it over there? Huh? Naruto said as he pulled out another kunai and threw it. That is when Sakura continued to march over towards Naruto and hit him aside the head. Obito and Kakashi both flinched as they remembered when Rin used to hit him aside his head. That's it, Naruto. Sakura yelled at him. What, someone is really following us, I mean it. Naruto complained as he rubbed his sore head. Quit it, Naruto, and stop acting like a dumb kid. Sakura said as Kakashi peered over the bush to see a white rabbit slumped against the tree trunk, scared stiff. That poor rabbit. Rin said. Obito nodded his head in agreement, while all of the adults there stared at the rabbit in wonder. Sakura walked over to him and saw the rabbit, then turned to glare over at Naruto. Naruto, look what you did. Sakura yelled at him. Naruto walked over and saw the rabbit. Ah, rabbit. Naruto said as he ran over and picked it up. I'm sorry, little rabbit, I'm sorry. Naruto repeated as he rubbed his face against the rabbit. All this fuss over a rodent. Tazuma grunted. Everyone but Kakashi stared at Naruto. Apologized to the rabbit. Kakashi did a double take of the rabbit. That is a snow rabbit, but the color, it only has white fur during winter when the days are short and have little sunlight. This rabbit was raised indoors away from the light. It could only be for one purpose, a replacement, touching, Kakashi thought as he glanced back at his team. Naruto continued to cuddle against the rabbit. So they're already here. Kakashi thought as he glanced around subtly. Kakashi's thoughts confirmed the adults' assumptions about the rabbit, as a figure hid in the trees staring down at them. No wonder why the demon brothers failed. It the copy ninja from the hidden village in the leaves, Kakashi Hatake with the Sharingan. Obito voice echoed as he touched his Google-covered eyes, then looked over at Kakashi and gripped his pants tightly. How did I get the Sharingan? Kakashi asked Kurama. He looked over at Obito. Before he died he gave you his right Sharingan eye, which Rin put in yours since you lost one of your eyes. Kurama told him. Kakashi opened and closed his mouth as he looked over at Obito, who continued to stare at his hands. Zabuza said as he gripped his sword. Look out! Kakashi yelled as a sword was thrown their way, and they all hit the deck, allowing the sword to get stuck in the tree. Then soon after, Zabuza appeared on top of the sword. Zabuza looked down at them. That must be, Kakashi thought. Here is my chance to shine. Believe it, I'm ready this time. I won't be outshined by Sasuke. Naruto thought. What are you doing? You're going to get killed, you idiot. Obito yelled. Calm down, Obito, Naruto can't hear you. Jiraiya said as he put a hand on his shoulder. Well, if it not Zabuza Momochi, the rough ninja from the village hidden in the mist. Kakashi said. Yeah, I'm ready, go. Naruto said, walking towards Zabuza, but Kakashi stopped him. Kushina let out a sigh in relief as she looked over at Kakashi gratefully. You're in the way, get back, Kakashi said. Why? Naruto asked. Because he not like ninja, he is in a whole other league. If he's our opponent I will need this, Kakashi said as he lifted his hand to his headband. My Sharingan, so I did get it. Obito murmured to himself as he stared at future Kakashi. Everyone looked at him in shock. Kakashi of the Sharingan eye. Zabuza said. Did I get that right, huh? Sasuke thought. Sasu-chan. Mikoto looked at her oldest son in her arms, then back at her future youngest one. Fugaku noticed this and placed a hand on her shoulder, comforting her. Well, that too bad, you will have to hand over that old man, Zabuza said, as the two Jonin held a standoff with one another. Sharingan? What is that? Naruto thought. What are they talking about? Does he have some type of special power? Sakura thought. Sharingan. Tazuma pondered. Now quick, Manji formation and stay out of this fight, Kakashi ordered his team. They all looked at him surprised. I taught you teamwork, it's time to use it. Kakashi up his headband to reveal a scare that stretched from the bottom of his eyebrow and ended to the start of the mask, and his eye held the basic Sharingan eye. Kakashi stared at his future self in awe. Obito and Rin looked surprised. Minato kept looking from his young pupil to his future self, and wondered what would happen next. I'm ready, Kakashi said as he took a fighting stance. His eye, what's is that? Naruto thought as he looked over to his sensei. Well, it seems I will get to see the Sharingan in action, Zabuza said as he was smirking underneath the bandages. What is with the bandages over his mouth? Tsunade wondered. What's with everyone, they keep saying Sharingan, Sharingan, what is a Sharingan is? Naruto questioned. Sharingan is a rare power that resides in the eyes. The user of this jutsu or dujutsu, it can see and comprehend any ninjutsu, genjutsu and taijutsu, and reflected that attack on the attacker. Sharingan is a rare form of dujutsu, however there is more to the Sharingan than that, a lot more. Sasuke informed his teammates, as Naruto gave him a sideways glance. He's so bright, Mikoto said, praising her son as Itachi just awoken from his nap and sat up quietly and gazed at his younger brother and let out a happy giggle, causing everyone to smile. You got it right, boy, but you only scratched the surface. Sharingan can analyze and copy the jutsu to the smallest detail, Zabuza said as mist began to rise around them. As for you, Jonin, as a nation of the hidden mist, we were ordered to annihilate you on sight. Your profile is in our bingo book. It called you the man that copied 1,000 jutsu. Kakashi the copy ninja, Zabuza said. Not true. If he trained his Sharingan well enough, he could be able to see even through the mist, Fugaku said, looking over at Obito. What, Kakashi-sensei is a famous ninja? Sakura thought as she looked over at Kakashi. Wow, that's so cool, Naruto said. Wait a minute, Sharingan is a rare trait that only presents itself in a few members of my clan. Sasuke thought as he stared at Kakashi. I got it from a friend, Kakashi said, looking over at Obito, smiling at him slightly. Thanks, Kakashi, Obito replied. Could he be? Sasuke thought as Zabuza got into a fighting stance. Who is he talking about? The two Sannin thought as they looked at the young Uchiha. Enough talking, I need to exterminate the old man now, Zabuza growled as the genin surrounding Mr. Tazuma to protect him from any harm. Zabuza growled at them from the top of the tree. I see, I will have to exterminate you first, so be it, Zabuza said as he flashed out himself over to the small river with his sword at hand. He is over there, Naruto yelled, causing his teammates to glance over where Zabuza was. Then his remaining hand to start making hand signs as he held his hand near his mouth and lifted one leg in the air while maintaining a perfect balance. One hand signs, Kushina yelled in surprise. That was certainly unexpected, Jiraiya agreed. He building a huge amount of chakra, Kakashi thought as he stared at Zabuza. Ninja art, hidden mist jutsu, Zabuza said as a dense and thick fog wrapped around them. He vanished, Naruto said. Sensei? Sakura called out as he stood in front of them. He will come after me first, Kakashi stated. But who is he? Sakura asked. He is Zabuza Momochi. He is from the assassination group from the hidden mist. He mastered the silent killing technique, Kakashi informed. That must be something new, cause I never heard of it, Tsunade said. Silent killing technique, Naruto repeated. As the name suggests, it happens in an instant. It happened without a sound or a warning of any kind. It's so fast you will pass from this life without ever noticing what happened, but the Sharingan can't fully neutralize it, so don't lower your guard, Kakashi said as the genin looked lightly frightened. Don't worry, Kakashi will protect you, Minato said, smiling at Kakashi, who turned away from him, refusing to meet his eye. But if we fail, we would only lose our lives, Kakashi finished. Kakashi! Who could you say that? Rin yelled at him as she gave him a steady glare. How could you say that? Sakura yelled at Kakashi. They're so alike, Obito thought as he looked at Sakura. The mist is getting thicker and thicker, Naruto stated as he broke out into a cold sweat. The land of waves is surrounded by ocean, so ever slowly to mist are always present, Tazuma informed them as Kakashi began to fade into the mist. They all stood in their position. 8 points. Zabuza's voice echoed the mist. What was that? Sakura questioned, startled. The Zabuza's voice then began to list off the internal organs that were fatal points. Now which shall be my killing point? Zabuza asked Kakashi as he released a wave of chakra so his team was able to see him. And why haven't you gotten powerful? Minato thought as he looked at his student. What an intense thirst of blood, and the slightest movement of the eyes means swift death. Sasuke thought as he began to shake slightly and started to sweat as well. The clash of two jonin with the intent to kill. I never felt something so chilling. I would take my own life. No, I can't bear it. Sasuke thought as he gripped tightly onto the kunai and slowly began to turn it towards himself. Fugaku stared at his youngest son in wonder before he looked at Itachi, who noticed this and looked toward his father. Sasuke snapped his head up, looking at his sensei startled. Calm down, I'll protect you with my life. All of you, I will not allow my comments you die, trust me. Kakashi said, shooting as smiled their way. Kakashi, you grew up to be a great man, Kushina told him as he began to blush slightly. I would not be so sure, Zabuza said as he stood in between Team 7 and Mr. Tazuma. But Kakashi lunged, swiftly stabbing the man in the chest as his team ducked down, but the figure dissolved like water, and the real Zabuza appeared behind him and sliced at Kakashi, which has proved to be a water clone. The water clone jutsu, Zabuza said as his eyes widened slightly. It can't be, even in the mist he saw through the illusion, Zabuza said as he stood erected, as he felt a presence behind him. Don't move, Kakashi said as he stood behind him with a kunai near Zabuza's neck. They stood there as the fallen genin stared at them before slowly rising. Stay on your toes, Kakashi, Minato said. You're finished, Kakashi stated. All right, Naruto yelled excitedly as Sakura began to laugh uneasily and Sasuke simply stared. Suddenly Zabuza began to let out a low chuckle. Huh, Kakashi said as he tightened his grip on his kunai. Finished? Don't get it, do you? Your technique is just some cheap imitation. I could never be defeated by some copycat ninja like you, Zabuza stated as Kakashi groaned in frustration as Zabuza began to laugh once again. Kakashi glared at Zabuza. You are full of surprises, though you copied my water clone jutsu even when you were doing your little speech, Zabuza said. Very skillfully executed. You made your clone say those words to draw my attention, while you hid in the mist waiting for me to make my move, Zabuza said as he glared at Kakashi through the side of his eye. Nice try, but I'm not that easy to fool, the real Zabuza said as he appeared behind Kakashi. Kakashi attacked the water clone in front of him and took a defensive position. Hey, that one was a water clone too, Naruto yelled. Ah, watch out, Kakashi, Obito yelled out to his teammate's future self. Kakashi glanced behind him as he saw Zabuza swing his blade towards him, but Kakashi ducked the blow. Team Minato let out a sigh of relief as they saw their teammate was no longer in danger. Due to the follow-up of the strength Zabuza put into the blade, the sword wedged itself in the ground. Zabuza anticipated this and spun around as his sword hit the ground and kicked Kakashi, sending him flying through the air. Now, Zabuza said as he ran at a flying Kakashi, but he glanced down at the ground to see spikes. Mashinbiki spikes, trying to slow me down, HMPF, foolish, Zabuza said as slid to a stop before turning around and taking a step forward before disappearing as Kakashi fell into the creek. Sensei, Naruto yelled out to Kakashi as he watched him fall into the water. I can believe that Kakashi-sensei got kicked through the air like that, Sakura thought as she stared shocked. He got great physical skill too, Sasuke said. He glanced over at the creek. His ability to analyze his opponents is great, Jiraiya commented as Fugaku squealed with pride of his son, though his wife Mikoto looked worried. Kakashi rose to the top of the water. This is not normal water, it's dense, heavy, Kakashi thought as he looked down at the water. The water is infused with Zabuza's chakra, Tsunade said as Minato and Kushina nodded his head in agreement. Full water prism jutsu, Zabuza said as he appeared behind Kakashi. Make hand signs at a fast pace, then opened them to make a triangle with both of his hands. No! Kakashi screamed as he looked behind himself as he was enveloped in a water sphere. Escaping into the water, bad mistake, Kakashi thought to himself as he looked over at Zabuza. Minato tired to stifle and laugh as he looked down at his pupil. Kakashi glared at his sensei. Zabuza let out a low ominous chuckle as he looked back at Kakashi. It may be water, but it's stronger than steel. It's hard to fight if you can't move. So much for the great Kakashi. I will finish you off later, but first your little friend will have to be eliminated. Water clone jutsu, Zabuza said as a water clone began to manifest itself near him. One-handed hand signals. He must be very skilled then, Mikoto said as Itachi laughed as he watched. He even more skilled than I thought, Kakashi thought as they all watched as the water clone rose out of the water. You think wearing a headband make you a ninja, when you hover above life and death so many times that it doesn't phase you, then may be called a ninja, Zabuza said as the water clone approached Team 7. Or when your profile becomes so deadly that your name enters my bingo book, then you may have earned the title ninja, Zabuza stated, but to call upstart you ninja is a joke, Zabuza finished as he began to fade into the mist. Oh no, he disappeared again, Naruto thought as Zabuza appeared in front of him and kicked him back so hard that his headband fell off. Naruto! Kushina screamed worriedly for her son, who was just kicked like a sack of potatoes. Once Naruto and his headband hit the ground, Zabuza stomped onto the headband. You're just brats, Zabuza told them. Naruto! Sakura yelled at their fallen teammate as Sasuke looked over surprised. Listen, get the bridge builder and run, you can't win this fight, Kakashi yelled to his team. He is using all his power to keep me in this prison, so he has to fight you using the water clone, but his water clone can't go far from his real body. So if you get away far enough he will not be able to follow, so run. Kakashi explained as they all stared at Zabuza in shock. They would never run away, Kakashi. Fi had taught them not to leave a teammate behind. Jiraiya said as he glanced from the older Kakashi to the younger one. Run away, that is not an option. That became unthinkable the moment you got caught. No matter how fast we run or how far we go, he will track us down and wipe us out. Sasuke thought. And if we tried a manji defense formation, he can get around it in an instant. In the end, if we are on our own, we're finished. Our only chance of survival is to get you. We got to do it. Sasuke said as he ran at Zabuza, throwing shuriken at him. What is he thinking that will not be able to touch him? Rin murmured to herself as she watched Sasuke try to attack Zabuza, but the water clone blocked with the blade of his sword. Sasuke jumped into the air trying to attack him with a kunai. Too easy. Zabuza said as he catched Kakashi in a choker's hold and threw him against the ground. Itachi began to cry as he saw that Sasuke was in danger. Fugaku looked at his sons worriedly. Mikoto tried to comfort the infant in his arms. Sasuke, no! Sakura yelled in distress as she and Naruto looked over at him worriedly. Oh no, he got Sasuke. Naruto thought as he turned his attention back towards Zabuza and began to shake in fear. So this is what a Jonin is, a true elite ninja. I gotta get away, if I do not, he will annihilate me. Naruto thought as he got up and tried to run away, but then he looked back at his hand and froze. Naruto, you can do it, I know you can. Obito silently cheered for the blonde. Naruto took a deep breath and remembered the pledge he made the day before. Upon this wound I make this pledge, believe it, I will never back down again and let someone else save me, I will never run away. Then he remembered the taunt Sasuke threw at him. You're not hurt, are you, scaredy cat? I will not lose to Sasuke. Naruto thought before he looked back. He looked down at the headband that Zabuza was standing on and remembered the time with Iruka-sensei. It's just how Jiraiya refused to lose to Orochimaru. Tsunade thought fondly about their time as genin. Hey, I wanna try on you headband, come on please. Naruto asked as he looked up at Iruka-sensei. What, this? No way, you can only wear the leaf headband when you graduate from the academy and become a ninja. Iruka said as he touched his headband fondly. Then he remembered after that night, Mizuki attacked him and Iruka-sensei. Hey Naruto, come over here for a minute, I got something special I want to give you. Iruka-sensei called to him. When he walked over to Iruka, as he approached him, Iruka took off his headband and placed it onto Naruto. Congratulations Naruto, you graduated. Iruka told him. Ah, Iruka is so nice. Kushinakud. Kakashi remembered hearing this name as he once visited the academy. Then he recalled their first day training with Kakashi-sensei. That what happens when an enemy takes a hostage and you have an impossible choice, and on every mission your life is on the line. Kakashi told them then when Kakashi passed them at the end of the day. He couldn't have lied to them, that would have been foolish. What he did was to open their eyes to see that every mission could be their last. Jiraiya, I'm not the little brat who pulled pranks all the time, I'm a ninja now and I want a ninja mission. He recalled himself screaming at the third Hokage, to be the greatest Hokage, so that the village will stop disrespecting me and start treating me like a somebody important. He recalled himself saying that when Kakashi asked themselves to say something about themselves. Kushina smiled at this as herself she wished to be acknowledged by the village. That right, I'm a ninja now, believe it. Naruto said as he rose to his feet. I swore an oath of pain that I wouldn't run away. Naruto yelled as he ran at Zabuza. Naruto, no! Kakashi yelled from his prison. Ah, Naruto, what in the world are you doing? Sakura yelled as she gripped the top of her head, and Sasuke stared at him as he ran towards Zabuza. What was this Gaki thinking? Tsunade thought as she closed her and turned away from them. Zabuza gave a small laugh before saying, Fool. But Zabuza merely just kicked him away. What were you thinking charging him by yourself? Even Sasuke couldn't even get to him. We cannot defeat him, we're only genin and he is a jonin. What do you think you accomplished by that? Sakura asked as Naruto landed near them. Then she noticed what Naruto gripped in his hand. Headband, that is what he wanted. Sakura thought as she and Sasuke stared at him. To wear his headband is a sense of pride. Tsunade said. Naruto struggled to stand up on his own 2 feet. Hey you, dude with no eyebrows. Obito began to laugh loudly. Kushina had to stifle a laughter herself as the other just simple stared at the two in wonder. Put this in your bingo book, the ninja who will become Hokage of the leaf. Hidden in the leaves. Naruto started as he put his headband back on. He never backs down. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. He just like you two when you were younger, both of claiming to be wanting to become Hokage. Jiraiya said as he looked at his student then back at Kushina. They both flushed red in embarrassment. Oh come on now Jiraiya-sensei, you embracing me. Minato told his sensei as his team laughed at him. Zabuza narrowed his eyes at him. Naruto. Kakashi thought as he looked at his young student. I thought he was all talk but this kid got guts. Mr. Tazuma thought as he stared at Naruto. Alright Sasuke, listen up, you can hear me right? Naruto asked as he kept his eyes on Zabuza. Yeah, I can hear you. Sasuke confirmed. I got a plan. Naruto stated. This guy has a plan. Sasuke thought as he looked over at Naruto. So you are finally thinking about teamwork? Sasuke said. Why do I have this feeling that Naruto feeling determined? Sakura thought. Of course he determined, he wants to save his sensei. Rin yelled. Yeah, we would never leave our sensei behind. Obito yelled. Kurama smiled at the young Uchiha. Alright guys, let's go wild. Naruto said as he wiped the blood off the side of his mouth. Both Naruto and Sasuke to attack positions while Sakura guarded Mr. Tazuma. It was a standoff. Okay, ready, let's bring this guy down, Naruto said with a smile. Zabuza laughed. Big words from such a little man, you think your little plan will keep you in the game? Zabuza said. This is not good, what are you doing? I told you to run, this fight was over the moment I got caught, now take off. Kakashi yelled to his genin. Your mission is not to prove how brave you are, it is to save the bridge builder, stay on mission. Silly Kakashi, a team without its leader is not a team at all. Minato told his student as he shook his head and closed his eyes. Naruto looked back at the bridge builder. Bridge builder, Naruto said looking back at him. I guess this all happened because of me, because I want to live, but I will not stand in your way this time, so do what you have to do and forget about me, go ahead, a fight to save your sensei. Mr. Tazuma told them. I just thought this old man was a con artist, but he is actually genuine. Tsunade said. See, you hear that? Sasuke said looking over at Naruto. Yeah, believe it, I'm ready. Naruto said. Zabuza began to laugh. You have not learned anything, have you? Still playing your little game, pretending to be ninja. When I was your age this hand had already crushed many opponents, Zabuza informed them. What is he talking about? Kakashi asked looking over at the adults who stiffened slightly as they heard about this man. Zabuza the demon, Kakashi said as he looked over at him. So he is the little boy that Kushina started, but Tsunade stopped her by yelling out her name to gain her attention. Kushina, oh so I was in your book too, huh? Zabuza said. Long ago, the hidden Mist Village, also known as the Blood Mist Village, before a student could become a ninja he had to pass one last test. Kakashi said. So, do you know about the graduation requirement exam? Zabuza asked Kakashi. Graduation requirement? Is it something like we had to do? Obito asked looking over at Fugaku and Mikoto. No, Obito would not like taking the clone jutsu test and a written test at all. Mikoto told him as she looked down at Itachi who was in her arms sleeping. What graduation requirement exam? Naruto questioned. Zabuza laughed. What the big deal anyway, we had graduation test too. Naruto stated as Zabuza began to laugh louder. Did you have to annihilate the other students to pass? Zabuza told them. What? But that's so horrible, to have to kill your friend, classmates who worked beside you all those years and have to kill them. Rin yelled in surprise as she shook her head furiously. Kakashi narrowed his eyes as he continued to stare at Zabuza. Obito just gaped at the turn of events. Naruto's eyes widened in horror. Imagine young ninja like yourselves, eating together, training together, then come to the final exam, only the rules changed that you couldn't stop until you defeated your opponent. He was your friend, that shared your dreams, but now it's him or you. Zabuza said. That's so cruel. Sakura said in horror. See, you and Sakura think alike, Rin. Obito told her as Rin blushed red and hit Obito on his arm hard enough to leave a bruise. 10 years ago in the Hidden Mist Village, the graduation exam changed 1 year before a dark evil filled the place with terror. Kakashi said. What is he saying? Sakura asked. What evil? What changed? What caused the terror? Without pause or hesitation, a young boy who was not even a ninja approached the class and took down over 100 other students. Kakashi told them. They all looked at Zabuza. It felt so good. Zabuza said as he looked down at them. So wait, he killed all those trainees without even being trained to fight? Obito yelled looking at the adults. Yes, that is why a year later they changed the rule due to that one child vicious killings. Fugaku said in a steady voice. Sasuke and Naruto flinched in fear. This is when Zabuza launched his attack, knocking Sasuke away from Naruto, and elbowed him into his gut. Sasuke screamed in pain. Sasuke! Sakura yelled. Kakashi gasped. Zabuza stomped onto Sasuke's stomach, pressing down hard. You're nothing, Zabuza said. Mikoto gasped at how her son was being brutally stepped on like an ant. Stop right there, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto yelled as he began to make 20 clones of himself. Oh, shadow clones, and there are quite a few of them too, Zabuza said as he gripped his sword. Everyone stared at Naruto in shock. As Naruto and his clones pulled out kunai and prepared to attack. Here we go, Naruto and his clones all said in unison. Zabuza lifted his foot off of Sasuke and looked towards Naruto. As Sasuke began to slowly rise off the ground and got a safe distance away from Zabuza, all the clones jumped to attack Zabuza. Go Naruto! Rin, Obito, and Kushina yelled, cheering Naruto on, but Zabuza blew all of them away. No! They yelled as they watched Naruto get blow away. His skills are too advanced, he too powerful, there is no way to beat him, Mr. Tazuma said. As many of the clones dispersed. I'm still not giving up, I still have this, Naruto yelled as he pulled something from his backpack. Sasuke! He yelled, throwing it to him. Sasuke caught it with his right hand and spun around. So that was your plan, Naruto, good job, Sasuke thought to himself. as he opened up a giant shuriken. Demon Wind Shuriken, Sasuke said as he held up the shuriken before himself. Windmill of Shadows, Sasuke said. What? How did they manage to get one of those? Minato asked as he looked over at Kurama, who shrugged his shoulders. The shuriken will never be able to touch him though, it's useless, Fugaku stated as he looked back into the pond as he felt Mikoto and Kushina glare at him, causing him to flinch slightly. Sakura gasped in surprise, as well as Tazuma and Kakashi. A shuriken, you will never touch me with that, Zabuza told them. But Sasuke ignored the warning and threw the shuriken at him. The clone stood there waiting, but the shuriken never came. It simply went around him and aimed for the real Zabuza, which was keeping Kakashi hostage, so that their plan to free Kakashi. Obito stated. Good job, you guys, Rin cheered. Good plan, you ignored my water clone and aimed for my real body, but not smart enough, Zabuza said as he catched the shuriken in his open hand, but that is when he noticed a second shuriken coming his way. A second shuriken in the shadow of the first, the shadow shuriken jutsu, Zabuza said. While they planned that out thoroughly without even having to talk about teamwork. If only I could get Kakashi and Obito to work together like that, Minato thought. Impressive, he have the showing of being a true Uchiha, Fugaku said. Kushina and Mikoto smiled at each other. Team Minato glanced at each other, then back at Team 7, wondering if they could truly ever be a team like them. Jiraiya and Tsunade exchanged a look of worry, knowing if Zabuza was a true Jonin he would find a way to avoid the shuriken. The second shuriken is on target, and he can't catch this one, Sakura thought as she watched it play out. As the shuriken came at Zabuza, he jumped in the air to avoid it. I told you a shuriken would never hit me, Zabuza yelled. Sakura gasped in surprise. But Sasuke smirked. Everyone was surprised to see the young Uchiha was smiling about. What is he smirking about? His plan just failed, Rin asked, confused. The shuriken dispersed, and it appeared to be Naruto with a shuriken at hand. He hurled it at Zabuza. What? Zabuza gasped as he looked behind himself to see Naruto, as the others besides Sasuke all gasped in surprise. Eat this, Naruto yelled. They have amazing chemistry to pull this off, Tsunade stated. Yeah, not many can fight without talking of a plan beforehand, Jiraiya agreed. Our sons are so awesome, Kushina yelled, smiling brightly at Mikoto. Fugaku and Minato just continued to gape at the pair of genin. Team Minato looked kind of frustrated. They could not pull off a executed move that was planned without a natural member of THRE team getting in the way of each other. Out of reflex, Zabuza quickly moved out of the way of the kunai, breaking the prison that held Kakashi. I will destroy you, Zabuza yelled in fury as he began to get ready to throw the shuriken back at Naruto, but Kakashi blocked it before he got a chance to throw the shuriken as Naruto safely landed into the water. Kushina let out a sigh that she didn't even know she was holding as she looked back over at her son. Kakashi-sensei, Sakura yelled happily. Kakashi glared furiously at Zabuza. As Naruto quickly came back up for air, Naruto, that was an excellent plan. You have really grown, haven't you? Kakashi said as he never took his eyes off of Zabuza. Naruto began to laugh slightly before explaining his plan. I knew I could not beat him with my shadow clone, that was just to distract him. And while the clones fought him, I turned into the demon wind shuriken. He did not know what to do, believe it. So when I threw it looked like a real shuriken. Sasuke realized it was me in a second, so he spun around so none could see that he pulled out his own shuriken. Now there was two shuriken, Naruto continued. One was real and the other was me. So I hid in the shadow of the real shuriken and my target was the real Zabuza. Of course I knew I could not fight Zabuza myself. That was not in the game plan. I just wanted to get up in there and break up that water prison. I did not know that clone would be great bonus too, believe it, Naruto concluded. I hope he doesn't intended on explaining out every plan he has, Kakashi said as he closed his eyes. Do not brag, you just lucked out, Sasuke said as he closed his eyes for a brief second. That whole thing was just a fluke, Mr. Tazuma yelled in outrage. You can call it a fluke, but their teamwork was flawless. They knew what to do without even talking about it. Most of the time they act like they hate each other, but yet they are a perfect team, Sakura thought as he looked between Sasuke and Naruto. Team Minato looked at each other before nodding. After this was over, they would try harder to work as a team instead of individuals. HMPF, I got distracted and lost my grip of the water prison, Zabuza defended. Don't flatter yourself, you were forced to let go, Kakashi retorted, glaring at Zabuza. Don't flatter yourself, you weren't distracted, you were forced to let go, Kakashi stated. Zabuza turned to glare Kakashi. Sasuke took an attack post Ion while Naruto continued to float around in the water staring at the two jonin. Your technique worked on me once, but it won't work again, so what is it going to be? Kakashi asked as the two jonin stared at each other in a face-off as the other stood watching before Sasuke turned to Sakura. Sakura, you know what to do, Sasuke said as the pink-haired girl nodded her head, and they stood in front of Mr. Tazuma. HMPF, Zabuza said as he closed the shuriken and pressed it against Kakashi's knuckles that began to bleed as he knocked the shuriken away. Both jonin jumped apart from each other. When Zabuza made a hand sign in air, that is when Sasuke got a good look at Kakashi's eye. The Sharingan, he mumbled. Fugaku knew what his son was trying to figure out how Kakashi had obtained the Sharingan, but he worried if his son was ever going to obtain his own Sharingan, and if he did he hoped his youngest son would not chase after his elder brother. That is when Zabuza and Kakashi both landed on top of the water and began to say the same jutsu at the same time at a rapid pace as they stared at each other from a distance. Torai! Water-style water dragon jutsu. They both yelled in sync as two giant water dragons began to manifest from the creek. The two dragons twirled around each other before clashing against one another, creating a giant tidal wave which swallowed up Naruto as he tried to swim away and hit the others on the shore. He matching everything including his speed. Obip said as he watched future Kakashi battle it with Kakashi. Wow, so many hand signs and he mirrored them perfectly, and instantly. Sasuke though as he stared at Kakashi. Sakura gasped in surprise as she kneeled the bridge builder. What are they doing? Is that a ninjutsu? Sakura thought. Naruto came up gasping for air as he watched the two jonin fight. Both Zabuza and Kakashi fight each other trying to push each other back into submission. You can do it, Kakashi. Minato cheered his pupil on silently. Something is not right, Zabuza thought as he recalled how rapidly Kakashi matched his hand signs. The Sharingan can comprehend and copy any teaching, but both jutsu appeared at the same time. Could he? That when a figure nearby stepped out of its shadows on a tree but none noticed the figure. He finally began to realize, even if the Sharingan can comprehend any jutsu or teaching, the owner of the Sharingan must be able to complete and mobilize it as well. Mikoto said as she looked down at Itachi who was crawling around. Zabuza and Kakashi both jumped apart, then they began to circle around each other once before coming to a complete stop. When they both took a position with one arm straight up in the air and his second ready near his mouth to make and hand signs, Zabuza gasped. He not just following, he moves the same way at the same time. Mr. Tazuma stated. But how is he doing that? How Sasuke? Sakura asked looking over at Sasuke, but Sasuke stayed quiet. My movements, it's as he knows, Zabuza thought. I'm going to do next. Kakashi said, breaking Zabuza's train of thought. He can always tell what you're thinking even without the Sharingan. Obito murmured. No, he cannot. Obito, your movements are just rash and easy to predict. Minato told his students. But Kakashi, he too observant and analyzes every little detail in which throws his concentration off. Rin, you need to help your teammates out, both of them to fight as a team. You all are excellent shinobi, but you lack the understanding that you are a team and teams stick together. Minato told them. We know that, no, Minato-sensei. We promise to try harder when we do our team training. Rin promised as her other two teammates nodded their heads. Is he reading my mind as well? Zabuza thought as he stared at Kakashi. He looks at me with that eye. It makes you furious. Kakashi said. You're only copying me like a monkey, Zabuza started. You can't beat me with cheap tricks, I will crush you. Kakashi and Zabuza said in unison as they both began to rapidly make hand signs. He beginning to panic. Kakashi is trying to psych him out to make him lose his concentration. When I'm done with you, you will not be able to open that monkey mouth of yours again. Zabuza growled as he finally finished the end signs. What is that? Zabuza thought as he looked behind Kashi to see a figure that came to manifest itself as him. It's me, but how? Is an illusion jutsu. Zabuza thought as his continued to widen. Water style, Gant vortex jutsu. Kakashi said as he completed the jutsu before Zabuza and his Sharingan eye began to spin. What? Zabuza said as the water near Kakashi began to swirl around him, creating a vortex. Impossible! Zabuza screamed as the vortex swallowed him and he was thrown into a powerful current. I was just about to create a vortex, but he created one first. Zabuza thought as he was pushed forward, woven with the current, and he let a scream. The faster he trained his Sharingan, to nails the technique and his jutsu. Fugaku said. He copies my jutsu before I can even do it. I cannot keep up. Zabuza thought as he fought against the current with all he had, but in the end he fell victim to it, and was pushed back. Sasuke and the others tried to hold their ground at the intensity of vortex almost knocked him off their feet. Naruto was being pushed each and every way before he was pushed up shore, where he grabbed hold of a branch. Meanwhile, the figure in the trees disappeared to a different location away from the current tree Naruto was holding on to before Naruto got a chance to notice him. Who was that? Tsunade thought. Once the vortex cleared, Zabuza was back into a tree gasping for air. He gasped in pain as 4 kunai was lodged into his arms and legs and Kakashi appeared above him on the tree. You're finished, Kakashi said as the water flowed back into the creek. How? Zabuza asked as he looked up at Kakashi, who met his gaze. Can you see into the future? Yes, and this is your last battle ever, Kakashi said as he lifted up his kunai preparing to attack. Go Kakashi! Everyone cheered as they looked happily at the pond. Kurama stayed silent as he watched the interact, but before he got a chance, 2 projectiles was thrown at Zabuza, hiding him square his vital points in his neck. Everyone gasped in surprise as they watched Zabuza go down. Kakashi turned to look at the figure who was standing in the tree watching him go down. You were right, it was his last battle, the boy said as he let out a small laugh. He wore a Umbu Mist village mask. That is very suspicious, Obito said. What do you mean, Obito? Rin asked. Well, that boy got to Zabuza just before he killed him. It makes you wonder why he didn't just step in beforehand, Obito explained. Everyone stared at the boy silently. Naruto crawled out from the water holding onto the branch in his hand, looking from the boy then back at Zabuza. Kakashi jumped down to examine Zabuza, as the others watched him. He put a finger on the pulse of Zabuza's neck to see that he was alive. No vital signs. Kakashi mumbled to himself as he looked back up at the man in the tree. See, Obito, there no need to worry, he killed him, see. Rin said. Obito nodded his head, but he stared at the boy in wonder. The boy bowed to Kakashi and began to speak. Thank you, I have been tracking Zabuza for a long time, and finally get a chance to take him down. As he began to slowly rise and looked at Kakashi. By your mask I can tell you are a tracker ninja from the village hidden in the mist. Kakashi said, analyzing the boy in the tree. Impressive, you are well informed. The boy said. Ah, a tracker. Naruto said as he finally returned to his teammates' sides. Naruto, you don't even know what that is, you missed a lesson on it as usual. Tracker ninja have a special role, try coming to class next time. When a rogue ninja sways away from his village carrying loads of secrets along with him, secrets of his people. Trackers ninja a special train to track down these ninja and eliminate them, that way the secrets of their people remain secret. Sakura explained to Naruto. That correct, I'm a member of the elite tracking unit from the hidden mist village, it was my job to eliminate Zabuza. The boy said. From his size and voice, he seems to be the same age as Naruto, yet he is an elite assassin. Kakashi thought as he looked at the boy. There was an ominous blow of wind that went by the group. He is no ordinary kid, but what is he? Kakashi questioned to himself. Naruto ran towards the boy, then glanced back towards Zabuza, then back at him in frustration. What is this? Who do you think you are? Naruto yelled, pointing at the boy who stared back at Naruto, who was panting heavily. Did you hear me? Naruto asked. Easy, Naruto, he is not our enemy. Kakashi said to his student that looked back at him. That not the point, did you see what he did just like that? Zabuza was huge and powerful like a monster, and this kid who is no bigger than me, he brought down Zabuza with one move like it was nothing. What does that make us? Naruto asked his sensei who was walking towards him. We're just fumbling around, we don't know anything, how can I accept that? Naruto yelled in frustration. Obito and Rin shared a look as they were on their first mission. Both Kakashi and Minato sensei was constantly saving them, and they too knew nothing about being a ninja. Minato seemed to know what they were thinking and smiled. You guys all know what it means to be a ninja, no need to worry about what had happened in the past. Kakashi said. Well, even if you don't accept it, still it did happen, Naruto. Kakashi told him as he looked at Naruto. Kakashi began to ruffle Naruto's hair. In this world, who are younger than you and yet stronger than me? Kakashi said, as both Sasuke and Naruto growled in frustration. The boy then jumped forward towards Zabuza, picking him up. Oh, Sasuke, I hope your hatred for Itachi does not lead you down the wrong path. Mikoto thought sadly. Your struggle is over for now, but I must take care of the remains. There are many secrets in this body, and they must not be allowed to enter the wrong hands, so please excuse me, farewell. The boy said before disappearing. Supicus. Jiraiya thought, analyzing the young boy. He disappeared. Naruto said. Kakashi let out a sigh of relief as he pulled his headband back over his Sharingan eye. Naruto ran towards the tree. He is gone, Naruto, let it go. Kakashi told him as he watched the blonde sank to his knees and began to punch the ground. What are we doing here? We are nothing, and I don't believe it. Naruto said in frustration. Naruto. Sakura said. Kakashi walked towards Naruto and grabbed his arm. Things we encounter as ninja are never easy, but save your energy for the next enemy. Kakashi told him before letting Naruto go. We have not completed our mission yet, we still have to get the bridge builder to his bridge. Kakashi said. Mr. Tazuma let out a heavy laugh. Sorry for all the trouble I have caused you, you can rest at my house when we get to the village. Mr. Tazuma said. Alright then, let's get a move on. Kakashi said before walking a couple steps before stopping and falling forward to the ground. Everyone gasped in surprise as watched Kakashi fall to the ground. What happened? Sakura yelled in shock as they all surrounded him. Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asked unsurely as they saw that their sensei had fainted. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto yelled. I will only be showing you only what is important and vital to seeing how their first mission will turn out. Kurama said as the others nodded his head. Kakashi grunted as he woke up in an unfamiliar place. I think I overdid it with my Sharingan. Kakashi thought as he stared up at the ceiling. No shit. Obito cursed. Obito! Rin yelled, looking at her teammate surprised. Waking up, huh? Are you alright? A woman asked as she had long blue hair as she stared down at Kakashi. I've been better, it will be a week before I can move normally. Kakashi said as he struggled to sit up. See it better if you don't move, so just lie down. The woman said, placing her hands on his hips. Right. Kakashi agreed as he laid back down onto the futon. Look, Sensei is coming around. Naruto said as he and his teammates and Mr. Tazuma came into the room. Look, Sensei, your Sharingan, it is amazing and everything, but if it puts that much strain on you, maybe it not worth it. Sakura told him as she sat beside him. Why is Kakashi so tired after using the Sharingan, Uncle Fugaku? Obito asked, looking over at the older Uchiha. I don't know, Obito. Fugaku answered honestly. I think it probably due to the implant of your eye into Kakashi, due his body's adaptation to the hides, because his body was weakened from being inside of Zabuza just to it drained his chakra while he still had his Sharingan activated. Due to the extensive exert of his chakra, he passed out due to overwhelming exhaustion. Tsunade informed them of her medical evaluation. Everyone stared at her in shock. Sorry. Kakashi told his student. Well, he did take down the most powerful ninja assassins, so we will be safe for a while. Tazuma told them as he fanned himself. You're right, but you know that boy with the mask, what about him? Sakura asked. He from the elite tracking unit from the hidden village in the mist. Those masks are only worn by the most elite shinobi. Kakashi said. So basically they're like the Umbu Black Orbs. From our village, right? Rin said, looking over at her sensei to confirm her suspicion. Who gave her a swift nod of his head. What do they exactly do? Sakura asked. The Umbu Black Orbs, also known as the Inferno Squad, destroy all traces of a Rouge Ninja corpse. A shinobi's body contains many secrets, ninjutsu, chakra and special medicine used on his body. These are the secrets of his village, and if his enemies find him, his people would be in grave danger. Kakashi started. For instance, if I were to die at the hands of an enemy, he would try to analyze my Sharingan. In the worst case, my entire jutsu could be stolen and used against our home village. It is the sacred duty of the elite tracking unit to prevent this and to keep the village safe. If a ninja betrays his village and the trackers hunt him down and obliterate any traces of his existence, that is their specialty. Kakashi concluded. Mikoto looked at herself through the water. She was never able to activate her Sharingan. Fugaku noticed his wife's distress and placed a hand on her shoulder. None should ever want the cruise of the Uchiha eyes. Obito murmured as he stared up at the sky. First I will cut the bandages and drain some of the blood. The masked boy said as he lifted his hand to cut the bandages off from Zabuza's mouth. When he gasped as he felt someone grab his hand. Zabuza woke and glared at the masked boy. That is enough, I'll do it. Zabuza said as he pulled the bandages away from his mouth. So he is still a big phony after all. Rin yelled as she glared at the masked boy. Sue, you have already come back to life. The masked boy said as he watched Zabuza struggle to sit up. Haku, you're brutal. Zabuza said as he glared even harder at the masked boy. Zabuza said as he began to yank out the needles in his neck. You're the one who is brutal, Zabuza. If you keep pulling them out like that, you really will be finished. Haku said. Jiraiya and Tsunade had to agree with this kid. The way Zabuza was yanking out the needles from his neck, he would surely die. Zabuza grunted in response before he looked over at Haku. How long are you going to wear that phony mask? Take it off. Zabuza demanded. I have good memories with this mask, and it was quite usefully when tricking that ninja. Haku said as he removed the mask from his face to show an innocent smiling boy. If I had not interned, you have been dead by now, that much is certain. Zabuza looked over at Haku from the corner of his eye. But putting me in a temporary state is fine, but not through the pressure points in my neck, cruel as usual. I would think you enjoy it. Zabuza said, lifting the bandages back up to cover his mouth. It's kinda creepy to see his actual mouth when he talking. Kushina told them as Kakashi nodded his head in agreement. It was the only sure way, and that I would not want to make up your flawless body, then you would complain about that even more. The neck is more valuable, there is no layer of muscle, so I could go straight into the pressure points. Haku explained as he watched Zabuza struggle to stand up. He must have actually been one of the elite tracking unit. He knows so much about the human body, he must have a head and exceptional teachers. Tsunade though put as she analyzed the boy. There is no point in trying to move, you will be numb for a week, although if you are stubborn like usual, you will probably take half the time. Haku said smiling. Zabuza stared at Haku for a moment. You're so innocent, and yet clever at the same time. A rare combination, that is why I keep you around. Zabuza told him. Minato wondered what could have happened to this child to make him go with a man like Zabuza. Haku gave a small smile as he blushed at the compliment. I'm still a kid, what else would you expect? The mist has cleared. Haku informed Zabuza as he stood up. Next time, will you be alright? Haku asked. Next time I will see right through his Sharingan. Zabuza said. He actually only psyched you out. Rin said as Obito nodded his head in agreement. What is this? If Zabuza is finished, why do I feel this way? Something is wrong, it's like I missed something. Kakashi thought as he lifted his hand to hover over his right eye. His senses are highly in tune with others people's chakra due to his Sharingan. Fugaku thought. Hey sensei, are you alright? Naruto asked. Kakashi said as he looked up at his students. Oh, yet to finish what I was saying, tracker ninja deal with the body immediately on the spot so there is no room for error. Is that really important? Sakura asked. Yes it is. All the adults and Kakashi said in unison. Rin and Obito looked over at them confused. Think about it, do you remember what that tracker ninja did with Zabuza's body? Kakashi asked his students. We don't know what he did with the body. I guess that he took it away somewhere. Sakura answered. Exactly, but why? He should have worked on Zabuza right there. Think of the weapons he used for the takedown, do you remember what they were? Kakashi questioned his students. Throwing needles, no way. Sasuke said as he finally realized what had happened. He figured that out fast for only being a genin. Tsunade said. Exactly, none of it adds up. Kakashi says. What are you all yammering about? You demolished that assassin. Mr. Tazuna said as he looked at them confused. Kakashi sighed as he looked from his students to Mr. Tazuna. Here is the truth, Zabuza is still alive. Kakashi said. Huh. Sakura, Naruto, and Mr. Tazuma all gasped as their eyes all widened with surprise. Mr. Tazuma's daughter even let a surprised gasp. We saw his body, believe it? Naruto said as he sat up slightly edging toward his sensei. But Kakashi-sensei, you checked him yourself, you said his heart stopped. Sakura said. His heart did stop, but that was just a temporary state to stimulate death. The weapons that tracker used are called sabun. They can pierce deeply but they rarely kill, unless they hit a vital organ not in the neck. They're modified to use for medical treatment like acupuncture. Trackers are trained to know every detail of the human body. Causing the heart temporarily whole, keeping the body alive is an easy matter for them. First, he carried Zabuza's body away even though it is much heavier than he is. Second, he used sabun which have a precise effect but rarely fatal. From these two factors we can conclude that the tracker ninja was not trying to stop Zabuza but trying to save him. Kakashi said as he finished his analyze of the situation. Are you sure you're not a medical ninja? Tsunade joked, looking over at Kakashi that rubbed his neck sheepishly. Encountering suspicion, a ninja must prepare quickly. Hesitation leads to disaster. Every shinobi knows this saying. Kakashi said. Naruto was shaking with delight as he would get another chance at Zabuza. Only idiots like to fight. Rin said as she looked over at her two teammates while Kushina looked at Minato and Tsunade at Jiraiya. What did we do? The men asked, looking over at the women of the group. Kurama stifled a laugh as he held Itachi in his arms. He is actually pleased to hear Zabuza alive, cause now Naruto has another shot at him. Kakashi thought. Sensei, you said prepare quickly, but how can we do that if you can hardly move? Sakura asked. Kakashi began to laugh at that statement. Kakashi? Obito called, gaining the ninja attention. What is it? Kakashi asked, turning to look at his teammate. Don't ever laugh. Rin finished as Kakashi looked at them confused. Huh? Sakura said as she tilted her head in confusion. I can still train you. Kakashi said. Hold on, a little last-minute training won't make us strong enough to beat Zabuza. You could barely defeat him even with your Sharingan. We have to be reasonable about this. Sakura said. Yes, this is true. What are you thinking, Kakashi? What could you have teach them that could have helped? Minato asked. What are you trying to get us killed, CHAA? Inner Sakura yelled. Sakura, why was I able to stop Zabuza? Kakashi asked. Because you all helped me, you grown. Naruto, you have grown the most. Kakashi said as he smiled at him. Naruto let out an uneasy smile and laughed as he looked towards his sensei. He does seem stronger and more confident, but... Sakura thought as she looked over at her teammate. That is true, he is defiantly getting stronger and stronger. Kushina said as she smiled at her son. So you have noticed, Kakashi-sensei, things are going to get better, believe it? Naruto said. I don't believe it. A young boy said as he stood in the entryway of the room. Who are you? Naruto said, pointing his finger at the boy. Ga, Inari, where have you been? Mr. Tazuna said as he spotted his grandson. Inari stepped forward to give his grandpa a hug. Welcome back, Grandpa. Inari said, giving Tazuna a hug. Inari, that was very rude. These ninja had helped your grandfather and brought him back safely. Inari's mother said, scolding her son. It's okay, I'm rude to them too. Tazuna said as he patted his grandson's head. Inari stared hard at Team 7 as he sat next to his grandfather. Mom, but these guys are going to die. Gado's men will come back and wipe them out. Inari told his mom. What did he say? Obito and Kushina yelling in rage as they glared at Inari. What did you say, brat? Naruto yelled at Inari. Listen up, do you know what a super ninja is? Well, that me, but a lot better. I'm going to be Hokage someday. This Gado or this Bato or whatever he called won't stand a chance against a real hero like me. Pa, there's no such thing as a hero. You're just full of stupid ideas. Inari yelled. Man, what could have happened to this kid? Jiraiya asked. It must have affected him drastically. Mikoto said as the others nodded heads in agreement. What you say? Naruto yelled as he tried to get over to Inari. Naruto, calm down, Sakura yelled, holding him back. If you want to stay alive, you would go back where you came from. Inari told them. Inari, wait, where are you going? Tazuna asked. To look out at the ocean. Inari said, I want to be alone. Inari walked out of the room. Sorry about that. Mr. Tazuna said to them as he gave them a sad smile. Later that day, Naruto climbed up the stairs to Inari's room. Who does that little brat think he is? I'm going to go put him in his place right now. Naruto said as he climbed to the top of the staircase and began to walk toward Inari's room. As he approached the door, he heard the sound of someone crying from inside. He is crying, Naruto thought, as he peeked through the crack of the door to see Inari on the windowsill crying. No, Daddy, no! Inari cried as he held a photo in his hands. Tsunade looked at Inari empathetically. She knew how it felt to lose people precious to you. Naruto pulled away from the door and frowned slightly. Zabuza laid in his bed as Haku sat by his side. As the door opened and Gado stepped inside. So much for the unbeatable Jounin. He just got beat and he limped back home like some pathetic has-been. Gado taunted as he and his two lakeys stood in the doorway. Demon of the Hidden Mist, Gado said as he let out a mockingly laugh. More like coward of the Hidden Mist, he good as dead. Kakashi said as he saw Haku's stance change from calm to angry in an instant. He should not provoke people stronger than him. Tsunade said. Haku stood up from his chair but did not turn around. As the other ninja stood ready to attack. The taller of the two ninja just about drawn his sword from its sheath as he gripped it holding point. Drawing swords? Haku thought as he looked out from the corner of his eye. His analysis of an situation is way high for someone of his age group. Jiraiya said as he stared at Haku. Hold on a minute. Gato said as he made his way over to Zabuza. Alright, let's hear about what you have to say about this fiasco, and don't play possum, I know you can talk. Gato said as he reached forward to touch Zabuza but gasped as he felt Haku holding his wrist in a vice grip preventing him from moving any closer to Zabuza. Keep your filthy hands off of him. Haku growled as he glared at Gato. Wow, he's so strong. Obito thought. Stop or else you will break it. Gato cried as Haku held his arm. The other two ninja quickly moved into action to protect their employer. Weakling, this insignificant man is causing so much pain. Kushina thought in disgust, but Haku quickly reacted and made the two ninja point their swords at their own necks, threatening them to move. But that is impossible. The taller of the two ninja thought. No body could move that fast. The shorter one thought. Don't push me. I am in a really foul mood. Haku said. Zabuza trained that boy exceptionally well. Minato said as the others agreed. Gato groaned in frustration as he watched Haku hold two of his best assassins at his mercy. Haku threw the swords on the ground as the two ninja and Gato backed away from Gato, heading towards the door. You get one chance and that is it. If you fail this time, I will cut you off and then there will be none to cover for you. Let's go. Gato said as he and his men turned and walked away. Haku sat down in his seat. Haku, that was not necessary. Zabuza said as he hid a kunai under the blankets. Wait a second, do they plan on killing Gato? Rin asked. Perhaps, but it is too early to take out Gato just yet. He is our best cover, think about it. Haku said as he looked at Zabuza with a knowingly smile as Zabuza merely stared from the corner of his eye at Haku. Rin sighed as his question was answered. The murders would draw their attention, and then they would be after us again, Haku explained. We need restraint. Right? Zabuza said as he closed his eyes to go to sleep. At the bridge the workers worked hard to make it be finished on time while they had so few workers. Sakura yawned as she watched Mr. Tazuna work. Are you always this lazy? Tazuna asked as he passed her by. Where is that weird blonde kid, and the one with the attitude? Tazuna asked. My son is not weird. Kushina yelled, glaring at Tazuna. Neither does Sasuke got an attitude. Fugaku retorted as the others just sighed at their antics. They're training climbing trees. Sakura told him. Too tough for you? Tazuna asked as Sakura smirked. No, I'm the best at why the sensei sent me here to guard you. Sakura bragged. Bragging is not a good trait of a woman to have. Jiraiya said as Tsunade and Kushina glared at him, causing him to stiffen. You're joking? Tazuna said as Sakura said as she got angry at Tazuna. Tazuna set down the steel as one of his workers came walking over to him. Hey, Tazuna, I need to talk to you. The worker said. What about? Tazuna asked. You see, the thing is, I have been thinking a lot about the bridge and decide I pushed my luck far enough. I want out. The worker finished. Now you're just going to quit on me just like that? You're kidding. Tazuna yelled at the worker. I stayed on because of our friendship. But I'm putting my life on the line every day I stay here. Gato and his thugs will show up eventually. They will kill you and the bridge will never be finished anyway. The worker said. It is a lost cause. Why don't we stop now, while we can get out of this alive? No chance. This is our bridge. Our island is poor, and it will stay that way until this bridge connects us to the mainland. Commerce, trade, hope. That is what we are building here. Tazuna said. There is not much hope if we all are dead. The worker says. Quitter. Rin and Obito chimed in unison. Rin, Obito tried to see it from his situation. He must have a family and people that need him. Minato told them. Still, if they don't stand up for themselves, who will? Kakashi stated more than asked. It's already noon. It's break for lunch. Tazuna said, walking away from the worker. Tazuna, let's not end it like this. The worker tried to explain himself. Save your breath. Gishi, don't bother coming back after lunch. Tazuna said as he continued to walk away. As Sakura stared helplessly, Sakura and Tazuna walked through the shopping district. Where are we going? Sakura asked as she glanced around the place. You want to eat tonight, don't ya? I have to pick up some things for dinner. Tazuna said, as a guy came walking by with a sign that read, will do any kind of work. Thief, thief. A voice yelled as a little kid started to run away with a loaf of bread in his hand. What wrong with these people? Rin said to herself. Sakura watched in shock about how these people lived, seeing children on the sidewalk begging, having the look of lost hope. What is wrong with these people? Sakura thought as they entered a vegetable shop, but Sakura barely saw any food. This is a store? Sakura thought as she looked around worriedly. There is nothing here. Poverty has always been part of the land of waves, but this is too much. Kushina said, as a man walked in and saw Sakura purse and made a move towards it but brushed past Sakura, but causing her to stiffen and spin around, kicking the man in his jaw. You pervert! Sakura yelled. No, I was, the man said as he fell to the floor, catching a feel. Jiraiya added, being a pickpocket. Obito added, wow, you really surprised me back there. Girls around here don't fight like that. Tazuna said, looking down at Sakura. Not all girls are like that. Rin retorted as the women nodded their heads in agreement. Well, they should. Something's seriously wrong here. Sakura said as she felt a head grabbed her from behind. Again. Sakura thought in outrage as she spun around. Hey Buster. She turned to see a little kid behind her. Please. The kid said, holding out his hand, giving her a smile. It ached the adult's heart to see this little kid begging on the streets for food. Sakura looked the kid up and down, but eventually gave in with a sad smile and took out several pieces of candy for the kid. Here. Sakura said, giving the boy the candy. Kid brightly at her. Wow, thank you. The kid said as Sakura forced a smile as tears started to rise from the corner of her eyes. The kid gave her one last smile before running through the crowd of people. It was only a couple pieces of candy, how would that make anyone happy? Obito thought as he looked at the citizens sadly. This is how it's been since Gato came here. The children suffer, and the adults are too afraid to stand up to him. Tazuna said. Sakura wiped the tears from her eyes. They lost all hope, that is why, we have to finish the bridge. Tazuna said, it will bring commerce, trade, but much more importantly that bridge is a symbol of courage and we must return the spirit of our people. When the bridge is finished, people will start to believe again, they will believe with dignity. We cannot let Gato stop us. Sasuke, Naruto, we have to help them. Sakura thought as she watched the sun set. We have to help them as well when this is all over. Mikoto said as they all nodded their heads in agreement. Naruto and Sasuke were scarfing down their dinner. It's been ages since we had any guest around our table. Tazuna said as he watched both boys from Team 7 scarf down his daughter's cooking. Can I have some more? They both yelled at the same time as they finished that serving of food. They glared at each other from across the table as Sakura looked at her teammates worriedly. Don't eat too much or you will throw up. Tsunade said, before both Sasuke and Naruto threw up. I told you so. Tsunade said as she let out a heavy sigh. Don't eat so much if you're just going to puke it up. Sakura yelled at them. I have to eat. Sasuke said, and I have to eat more than him, that is the only way I can beat him. Naruto said, but puking won't help you. Kakashi said, that true, but puking won't help you. Kakashi told his students, don't repeat yourself, Kakashi. Obito told him. Once they were all done eating, they all sat in silence. Excuse me, this picture is torn, is there some reason for that? Sakura asked. Inari, you kept glancing at it all through dinner. It looked like there was someone else in the picture but it got torn out. It kinda strange, isn't it? The three islanders frozen but did not say a word. Oh, bad topic has been struck. Obito said, it's my husband. Tazuna's daughter told them. They used to call him a hero in this land. Tazuna said, as Inari got up from his chair and started to leave the room. Inari, where are you going? His mother shouted as she watched her son leave and ran after him but stopped out in front of the door. Father! You know you can't talk about him like that in front of Inari. She screamed before leaving the room completely. Everyone wondered what could have happened to the man. They all looked at the door surprised. Inari, so I mean what happened to him? Sakura asked. Is there a story behind this? Kakashi asked. He was not his real father, he came into our lives later. He brought so much happiness. He and Inari were very close. In those days Inari used to laugh all the time. But then, Tazuna said as he clenched his hands. Kakashi said, cocking his head to the side. All that ended. He never laughs or smiles anymore, ever since the day that everything changed. Tazuna started as tears began to stream from his eyes. So we will finally know the reason for Inari's behavior. Fugaku said. The word courage was stolen from this island, leaving everyone hopeless and Inari suffering the most ever since that day that it happened. Tazuna said as everyone stared at to elaborate what happened that day. Tell us, what happened to Inari? Kakashi asked. First you will need to learn about the man, his father, the man that taught us the word courage. He was a hero in this land, Tazuna said as he covered his face with his hand. A hero? Obito said animatedly. A hero, really? Naruto said as he lifted his head of the table. Tazuna wiped the tears from his eyes and lifted his head back up. You can decide that for yourselves. He came here about 3 years ago, Tazuna started. Pucci! Pucci, no! Inari yelled as two other boys held him back while another held a black and white dog in his arms. As the dog barked for help. That not his name, the boy said who was holding the dog. Starting today his name is Shooting Star and he is my dog now. Both names are stupid. Obito said. As Minato hit his student aside his head. No, he is not, he is my dog, and his name is not Shooting Star. I had him since he was a puppy, and he my dog, and he is my friend and he belongs to me. Inari yelled as he struggled in the arms of the two bigger boys that were holding him back. Just shut up. The bully yelled as he looked down at the dog and smirked evilly as the dog whimpered in his hands. Then the bully proceeded to throw the dog into the ocean. No! Kakashi yelled as he saw the dog get tossed into the air. Obito and Rin looked at their teammate shocked at the emotion this dog had brought to him. Pucci! Inari yelled as he gasped as he watched helplessly. Pucci was struggling to stay above the water. See what happens when you don't listen to me. Now I'm not going to lift a finger to help him. Okay, you can let him go. The bully said as his sidekicks let Inari go. Why did you do that? Now my dog is going to drown. Inari yelled as he stumbled forward glaring at the bully. If he your dog, then jump in and be a hero and save your friend. The bully retorted, as Inari just continued to glare at the bully. Everyone looked at Inari sadly as they watched the dog drown. After all that big talk, you're not just going to let him go under, are you? the bully asked. Inari whimpered as he walked over to the edge of the bridge to see Pucci struggling. I gotta jump in there and save him. I got to, but Inari thought to himself as he stared helplessly. Ha ha ha, he is not even going to jump in and save his precious little Pucci. The bully taunted. It's your fault that the dog in there to begin with. Rin yelled. I can't swim, and I'm scared. I'm sorry, Pucci. Inari thought as he clenched his eyes shut. Hey, since you made a big deal about it, why don't you go get him? The bully said, kicking Inari into the ocean. These little monsters. Kushina growled, glaring at the bullies. Inari began to struggle against the waves, trying to prevent himself from going under. I think you went too far this time, Akane. He could really drown or something. One of the sidekicks said as they watched Inari struggle. Help, please. Inari yelled. Forget about it. Akane said as he turned to the sidekick that spoke up. I don't know. The sidekick started before Akane grabbed him by his shirt and pulled him close. Say one more word and you are going in with him, Akane says, threatening him. Help, I don't want to die. Inari yelled as he struggled some more. They're not going to allow him to die, are they? Minato whispered to himself as he watched Inari drown. Pooch, Inari said as he saw Pucci swimming towards the shore. Pooch! Inari yelled. Interesting enough, at that exact moment Pooch learned how to dog paddle. Tazuna said. Everyone could have laughed at the ironic moment that just occurred, but they stayed silent. Pooch! Inari yelled as he tried to jump up out of the water. Pucci made it to shore and shook himself off before running away. Hey, Shooting Star is getting away, go get him. Akane yelled as they ran after the dog and left Inari drowning in the ocean. They left. Ren gasped, shocked as she saw the boys walk away. Inari sunk down into the ocean. Oh no, please, Inari thought as he passed out. Inari groaned as he woke up onto the shore near the bridge. Waking up, huh? Finally. A voice said, causing Inari to sit up and turn to the voice. I had a little talk with those kids, they won't be bothering you again. Here, eat. The man said, offering Inari a cooked fish. Am I alive? Is this for real? Inari thought as he just stared at the man. Did you pull me out of the water, mister? Inari asked. The man let out a small laugh. Have a bite to eat first, then we can talk all about it, he said to Inari. I see, so your dog abandoned you too? The man asked as he watched Inari scarf down the fish. In my country, the dogs are very loyal and stand by their master, the man said, but then again you abandoned the dog first. All dogs are loyal, he just abandoned his out of fear. Kakashi said blandly. How do you know all this, Kakashi? Ren asked, looking over at him. I own a few dogs, Kakashi admitted. What do you mean a few? You own 10. Minato said as his students looked over at Kakashi surprised. I really wanted to save him, but I just froze. I was just so scared. I guess I just don't have any courage. Inari said as he began to cry when the man reached over and placed a hand on his head. Hey, come on, don't be so hard on yourself. You're a kid. When I was your age I was scared too. It's no big deal. Always remember this, live your life so you have nothing to regret. If you care about something you will protect it no matter how sad you got to keep trying. Even if you have to put your life on the line, protect it with both arms and never give in. The man told him as Inari looked at him surprised. Kushina liked this man. The country this man comes from has a lot of heart. His name was Kaiza, a simple fisherman that came here from another land to follow his dreams. After that, Kaiza and Inari were inseparable. The boy never knew his real father, so you could imagine what it meant to have Kaiza in his life. He looked up to him and followed him in his footsteps like a real father and son. Kaiza spent more and more time with us. He naturally became a member of our family. Then when this town needed him, something more, Tazuna said. The door banged open and there stood a man drenched wet. We got trouble, Kaiza. Water over the lower bridge is rising. If we don't stop it, the lower district will be flooded. The man said as his voice was full of panic. Man, this place is full of problems. Jiraiya said as he let out a heavy sigh. What? Kaiza yelled. Father! Inari yelled, causing Kaiza to look down at him. Inari, get me so rope, hurry, Kaiza said. Right. Inari said, running to go get some rope. We need to get a line out there and pull it close. One man said. A line? You have to swim out there to do that. It is impossible, none can get past that current. Another man said. If we don't do it, the whole district will be wiped out. It's the only way. The first man said. I will do it. Kaiza said. Kaiza? They all said as they watched him with awe. Don't be foolish, you will never make it. A man said. Father? Inari said. Don't worry, nothing can stop your dad. This is our island, so we got to do everything in our power to help. Kaiza told Inari. Kaiza secured the rope around his waist tightly as he stood on the edge about to jump in. If you really love something, protect it. Kaiza jumped into the water and began to swim to the bridge door. Even if you have to put your life on the line, protect it with both arms and never give in. Father! I know you can do it. Inari yelled. Kaiza gasped as he made it over to the other side. He made it. Tsunade said, shocked. All right, he made it. A man said. He tied line on. Everyone pull. The man said. From that time on, Kaiza was considered a hero in this land. He taught all of us the meaning of courage, and Inari was so proud to be his son. But it was not long after that Gato showed up and took over. Tazuna told them. He terrorized the entire village, only Kaiza stood up to him. Gato could not have a local hero standing in his way. It took Gato's entire gang to take down one man. Gato! Obito growled in frustration. You overplayed your hand, Kaiza. All that talk about going to protect this village with your 2 arms, those arms aren't much use now. You still have that defiant look in your eyes though. Gato said as Kaiza merely stared at the man. No, Rin said, turning away from the scene. Well, we will have to get rid of that, Gato said as he motioned his lackey forward. Get down there, one lackey said, pushing Kaiza to the ground. As 2 of the bigger lackey came with 2 hammers and swung down hard at Kaiza's arms, causing him to scream out in pain as his arms broke. Team Minato cringed as the scream erupted. Itachi, who was in Kurama's arm, burst into tears until Mikoto came over to comfort her infant son. The next day all the villagers were gathered up to see a hang Kaiza on a post. Listen up, this man has defied the Gato Corporation, he has disrupted the order of this land. We have brought you here to witness his punishment, Gato said, as the villager began to gasp and the chatter erupted in hushed whispers. Let this be an example, so none can stand in my way again, Gato said. That monster, Tsunade growled. Father! Inari yelled as he watched from behind the fence that was blocking them from getting inside. He cried. Inari, be quiet, one villager told him. Kaiza looked up and smiled. All right, do it, Gato said as he began to walk away. The 2 rogue assassins looked at each other before drawing their swords and bringing the down onto Kaiza. Daddy! Inari yelled. Rin and Obito flinched as they watched Kaiza die. You told me you'd protect me and this land with both of your arms. You made me believe you could do it, but it all was just a lie, Inari said to himself as he began to frown. One man cannot bear that burden all on his own, he will need help, Mikoto said as the other adults nodded their heads in agreement. Since then Inari changed, and Tsunami, and everyone, we have lost our will to live, Tazuna concluded. Naruto thought hard about Inari, and remembered his words. Only stupid kids believe in heroes, Inari said. He wants to believe in heroes, but he lost the only one he had, Jiraiya said. Then he remembered the time he seen him crying in his room. Then he looked at their family portrait, before trying to get up but failed and fell to the floor. What are you doing down there, Naruto? Sakura asked. You better take the day off, no more training, you used up too much chakra, Kakashi told Naruto. Naruto struggled to stand up. If you push any harder you will kill yourself, Kakashi told him. I will prove it, Naruto said. Prove what? Rin asked. Prove what? Sakura asked. Obito and Kakashi tried to contain their laughter but failed. He wants to. There are real heroes, Minato answered. I prove that it's true, in this world there are real heroes, Naruto said. They're so alike, if he does not figure out that this is his son soon I swear I will eat my hair, Jiraiya said as he watched his clueless student. Haku grabbed a hold of his bun that binded his hair and released it from its hold, making it fall down as he stared out the window. Meanwhile in the forest the Haku was picking herbs as a sparrow landed on his shoulder. He looked over and smiled at the bird before I flew away. The Haku looked over to see a fallen orange clay boy in his forest asleep. The Haku's eye widened as he remembered him. What is this? Who do you think you are? Naruto yelled. Haku stood up and walked over towards Naruto and stood above him for a second before bending down too. He would not dare, Obito said. Good morning everyone, Sakura said as she let out a heavy yawn. Everyone was seated at the table beside Naruto. Here, Tsunami said, placing Sakura's plate in front of her. Naruto, not here again, that means he has not been here all night, Tazuna said. Naruto's gone complete crazy, he out climbing trees in the dark, he could be dead by now from using too much of his chakra, Sakura said nonchalantly. You should not wish death upon your teammates, Tsunade said. Well, I hope that he okay, a child spending the night out in the woods alone, Tsunami said as she brought out the rest of the food. No need to worry yourself, Naruto's a goofy kid but he is also a full-fledged ninja, can handle himself, Kakashi said. He right, Naruto has been through much worse than this, Kurama thought as he looked at the younger Kakashi. Sakura is right, Naruto's such a loser, he probably lying out there dead somewhere, Sasuke said before standing up and started to leave the house. Sasuke? Sakura called out to him. I'm going for a walk, Sasuke told them. He is actually worried for his teammates, Fugaka said as he felt a surge of pride go through him. But we just started eating, Sakura said before she turned to look down at his plate to find it empty. Huh. That was fast, Sakura said. Haku sat next to Naruto. He leaned forward to strangle him but stopped mere inches away from his neck before moving to his shoulders and giving it a shake. Hey, you will catch a cold if you sleep here. Wake up, Haku said as he continued to shake Naruto's shoulder. Kushina let out a sigh in relief that this boy did not kill her son. Naruto grunted as he woke up. Haku gave him a blank stare before Naruto sat up. Naruto rubbed his eyes before looking over at Haku. Who the heck are you? Naruto asked. Haku gave him a soft smile, causing Naruto to blush slightly. Where did you come from? What are you doing out here and all that? Naruto asked. Does he honestly cannot tell that he a boy? Kakashi asked, surprised. Do not worry, some blondes like your sensei over here are just super dense, Jiraiya said, causing everyone to laugh except for Minato, who gave him a sharp glare. I'm gathering herbs, Haku says. Herbs? Naruto repeated. Yes, that right, they're used to treat illness in human beings, Haku said. You start work early, huh sis? Naruto said as he began to help pick some herbs. You're right, blondes are dense, Obito said. I like doing it early, but I didn't think I would find anyone sleeping out here. Haku told him, causing Naruto to laugh. I'm training. Naruto told him. So you mean you're training? I noticed that headband on your forehead. Are you simply making a fashion statement? Haku asked. Oh, you noticed that alright. Only super cool ninja like me can wear it. Naruto told her. The headband just makes us look cooler. Obito and Jiraiya said, striking a pose. Oh really? Haku asked. Does that mean you're training for something dangerous? No, I'm just developing my skills so I can get stronger. Naruto said. But you seem pretty strong now, isn't that enough? Haku said. Not even close. Naruto said. But why? Haku questioned. Because so I can become the best ninja in my village, then everyone will know who I am and all of them will respect me. Naruto told her as he gave Haku a big grin. Kushina felt a swell of regret of dying and leaving her son alone in that world. There is also a person that I have something to prove to, Naruto said with determination, just like the two of them. Rin thought as she glanced between her two teammates. Are you doing it for the same person or all for yourself? Haku said. Huh? Naruto asked as he tilted his head in confusion, causing Haku to laugh. What's so funny? What are you laughing about? Is there someone precious to you? Haku asked. Someone who? What are you saying? What do you mean, sis, someone precious? Naruto asked. To have someone precious is also a reason to fight and keep moving forward when everything else seems wrong. Jiraiya said. Exactly. Before we go any further, I want to show you a bit about Haku. Kurama said as he brushed his hand over the river. Slowly cold icy flakes of snow descend from the sky. As a boy was curled up near a nearby trash can as people walked by, not even noticing the boy. Why aren't they doing anything? Rin questioned as they watched a dozen people walk by the little boy. Soon a man came towards the trash can and dropped a bag of garbage in the dumpster. The boy quickly looked up and jumped to his feet, running to get into the trash bag. Bark, bark. A loud dog began to growl at the boy. The boy looked at the dog with cold eyes before punching the dog away when it got too close. The dog let out a whine as it flew away from the boy. The boy then turned around, his attention back to the garbage. There was another growl. Everyone gazed sadly at Haku as they watched the boy stiffen slightly. Huh! The boy said as he turned around to see two pups standing next to their mother. He slowly sat up and stood protectively of her kids. The boy just continued to stare helplessly at the dogs, not even moving. The boy sat on the bridge in the fetal position, trying to stay warm. When footsteps came closer to him, Haku looked up to see Zabuza standing above him, staring at him. He the first person who acknowledged him. Kakashi said sadly. Pathetic little urchin. Zabuza said as he looked at Haku and slowly approached him and bended down to be eye level to Haku. As Haku continued to stare at him, he just insulted that little boy. Mikoto said as she glared at Zabuza. None wants you, huh? Before winter ends you will die with nothing, not even a dream. Zabuza told Haku. His eyes widened with surprise as Haku smiled at him. Why is he smiling? Obito asked, confused. He must have noticed something we have not. Kushina tells him. Your eyes are just like mine, mister, we are both the same. Haku said as Zabuza stared at him stunned. Minato looked at Haku with a pitiful smile. This little boy must have endured a lot in his life. I was born in the land of the water, in a small village that the snow lies in the winter. My parents were farmers and were very poor. Our life was hard, but we were content. My parents were good to each other and kind to me. Haku started as he started to recall when his mother held him in her arms while his father smiled at him. If he was so happy, how did he end up on the streets? Rin asked, confused. Yes, we were happy once, but then everything changed. After years of suffering and years of civil war, the people of my land feared and hated anyone that carried the Kikai Genkai in their blood. What is a Kikai Genkai? Rin asked. The advanced blood trait that is in a clan, like our Sharingan. Fugaku said. The advanced blood trait that is in a clan, its jutsu and abilities passed down from generation to generation. Because of the unique abilities, the clans were used as mercenaries, were used in many battles, and much were feared. When the wars were over, they were hated and despised. They were shunned by the people who feared their power would bring more war and misfortune. So it was after these clans went into hiding, denying the bloodline trait that flowed through your veins, concealing their unique abilities, knowing that being discovered would have dire consequences. Fugaku took a deep breath as he knew his anger towards the Hokages for never choosing a leader from their clan. For years my mother was successful in hiding her abilities. She met and fell in love with a simple farmer, then they married. My mother thought she would finally lead a normal life. What could have happened? Obito asked. Haku let out a laugh as he began to bend water in between his hands. Mama, look what I can do, Haku said, smiling up at his mom. Haku's mom gasped and dropped the cloth she held in her hands. See what I made? Haku said as he approached his mother with the water hovering above his hands. He was able to get into his Kekigenkai at such a young age. Jiraiya said. See, is it beautiful? Haku said, gazing down at the water. No, you must never, you hear me, never, you wicked, wicked child. Haku's mom ranted, slapping the water out of Haku's hand and gripped a hold of his wrist. Kushina, Tsunade, Mikoto and Team Minato flinched at this. Mama, what is it? Mama, stop! Haku yelled as he began to struggle in his mother's grip. That is when Haku's mom slapped him. Haku's mom began to cry, stiffing her tears as she pulled Haku close to her. I'm sorry, my darling, I'm sorry. She whispered to him as she continued to cry. So that is what happened. Rin said. I don't think that is all the story, Rin. Minato told her. My father had seen what happened and he knew our secret. There was a plate that crashed to the floor, shattering into tiny pieces. Haku fell back onto his butt and began to scurry away from his father, who was hovering above him with a blunt weapon. Haku was crying heavily as his mom to the right of him lay dead on the floor. No. Rin whispered as she clutched the hems of her shirt. Haku's dad lifted his arm into the air as his face was stained with tears as Haku stared at him crying. Haku clenched his eyes tightly. What just happened? Obito asked. Haku trudged through the snow unsteadily as he left his house and collapsed onto the snow. He curled up into the fetal position. Haku stayed there crying as the snow continued to fall. Back at Haku's hut there were giant ice shards going through the entire house. So much chakra. Fugaku murmured. A little kid like you with none to look after him, you will die a beggar's death. Zabuza said as he stood in front of Haku. Hey, know what? Your eyes remind me of mine. Haku told him. As Zabuza stared at Haku in surprise. That young boy knows too much pain of a shinobi at such a young age. Tsunade says. Well, little one, will you stay here and die or come with me and be of some use? Will you serve me and submit to my will in all things? Zabuza asked. They stared at each other before Haku nodded his head. Then your special abilities belong to me from this day forward. Zabuza announced. Haku slowly rose to his feet before walking over to Zabuza and standing by his side. Zabuza lifted up his hand and began to ruffle his hair slightly before pulling him close to his side. The affection that he craved from being alone for so long, Zabuza gave him that. Mikoto says. Then let us go then. Zabuza said. My time here is done, Haku, Zabuza says. Tonight, I cast aside the land of water. One day I will return and seize this land and hold it in my hands. Many things must be done before that. When that day comes you will help me to do them, but I warn you, friendship, comfort, and encouragement, I do not need these things, nor should you expect these things from me. I understand, I am yours, Zabuza. I am only an instrument of your will. Think of me as a weapon that is meant to be kept at your side and used as you see fit. Haku told him. Why would anyone want to be treated like anything less than human? Kakashi asked. None wants to Kakashi, but the way Haku was raised he feels the need to useful, and this is the only way he knows how. Minato told him. Well said, child. Zabuza said as he gave him the smallest of smiles. Haku was laughing as he ran holding a snow-white rabbit in his arms. As he ran up a hill the rabbit managed to break free of his hold and ran in the bushes. Haku ran after it but was not able to catch it. Zabuza came from around the corner and held out the rabbit to Haku, who smiled at him brightly. Haku grabbed a hold of the rabbit and began to cuddle close to the rabbit. As Zabuza began to ruffle his hair, causing Haku to smile wider. He really does care for the boy even though he refused to admit it. Fugaku thought as he thought about his own sons. The boy decided to stay by Zabuza's side even though he could have overpowered him at any time. Kurama tells him, as all of the villages turn blind eyes to other villages' conflicts when you should have all united as one. Naruto said as he began to think about all the people who fought to protect someone. This is our village, we have to do anything to help. Kaiza, I will protect you with my life, all of you. Kakashi, if you ever lay a hand on my sensei, I will kill you. Naruto said. Yeah, I hear ya, I know exactly what you are saying. Naruto said as he began to smile at Haku. Haku stood up and grabbed his basket of herbs and turned back at Naruto and said. You will get strong, very strong. Of course he is, that what train is all about. Obito said as he smiled brightly. Yeah, everyone will get stronger, even us. Rin agreed. Naruto let out a small chuckle. Goodbye, Haku said as he turned to leave. We will meet again sometime. Oh, by the way, I'm a boy. As he continued to walk away. How did he not realize that? Kushina asked. Well, if we did not know I would not have figured it out either. A bell went off in Naruto's head as his jaw dropped, and he lifted his hand and began to shake his head in disbelief. No way, he prettier than Sakura. Naruto thought as he watched Haku walk away. No girl would want to hear that, Naruto. Kushina said. Sasuke was walking towards Naruto as he saw Haku walking towards him and walked past each other. Sasuke felt something strangely familiar and looked back at Haku, who continued to walk away. He has a strong sense of chakra, consider being a genin. Fugaku said as Mikoto nodded her head. Wow, I've seen a lot of weird things in my before, but this one takes the cake. Naruto said as Sasuke stood above him and punched him on the head. Oh. What was that for? Naruto asked, looking up at Sasuke. Hey, cut it out. Hey, twerp, did you forget about breakfast? Sasuke asked. You're such a loser. These two remind me so much of Obito and Kakashi. Minato said. Then Naruto blinked in realization and let out a laugh. Naruto, Naruto Uzumaki, huh? Inari said as he looked down at the picture of his father. I wonder what he is thinking about. Obito thought. Zabuza sat down on the couch as he crushed an apple with his bare hands. You're recovering quickly, Haku stated. Zabuza grunted before looking over at Haku. Just a little longer, Haku. Zabuza said. Yes. Haku agreed. What are they planning? Fugaku asked. In a few more days the bridge will be finished, and I have you to thank for that. Tazuna tells them. You all have done great, but you still need to be careful. Inari's mom says. Yeah, do not count your chickens before they hatch. Rin said. I have been meaning to ask you this, but I have not had the chance yet, until now. Why did you stay here and protect me even after you found out that I lied to bring you here? Tazuna asked as he looked at Kakashi. Those who stray from the path have no courage, but under the wing of a strong leader cowardice cannot survive. Kakashi tells them. That is a quote from my grandfather. Tsunade said. Tazuna and his daughter looked at him confused. That was a quote from our first Hokage. Kakashi explained. Inari stared at the table before glancing over at Naruto, who was laying on the table exhausted. Then Inari's stare hardened as he remembered all that his father was willing to sacrifice for their small village. If you have something to protect in this world, you have to protect it with both arms. Don't cry, Inari. His father's words echoed in his mind as he began to cry. But why? Inari whispered. What you say? Naruto asked as he lifted his head to look at Inari. Inari slammed his hands on the table and yelled, all this stupid training is a waste of time. Gato's got a whole army, they will beat you down and destroy you. These cool things you all say, they do not mean anything. No matter what you do, the strong always win and the weak always lose. Kushina's heart ached for this kid. He knew the hardship of life just like she and Naruto did, and none truly understands that pain until you experience it firsthand. Everyone stared at him in shock. Just speak for yourself. It won't be like that for me. Got that? Naruto tells him. Why don't you just be quiet? Just looking at you makes me sick. You don't know anything about this country, and you're just butting in. Always laughing and playing around, you do not know what it feels like to suffer or to be treated like dirt. Inari yelled at him. Kushina stiffened as she felt Minato grab a hold of her hand, trying to offer some form of comfort. Listen to yourself whining and complaining, like some sorry victim. You can whimper all day for I care, but you're nothing but a coward. Naruto snarled, glaring at Inari. He not a coward, what a mean thing to say, he just a little kid. Rin said. He is just speaking from experience, not everyone is accepting as you think, Rin. Obito told her as the two older Uchiha agreed with him. Inari gulped as Naruto rose from his seat. Naruto, you went too far. Sakura yelled at him. Naruto grunted but continued to walk away to head to the guest room. Naruto. Sakura called out him, but he just kept walking. Inari stood there crying before Kakashi looked over at him. Inari sat on the dock outside his house watching the ocean with his legs close to his chest. Can I talk to you? Kakashi asked as he walked over to Inari before sitting down beside him. Naruto can be a little harsh sometimes, but he does not hate you. Your grandfather told us what happened to your father. You probably don't know this, but Naruto also grew up without a father. In fact, he does not know either of his parents, and he did not have a single friend in our village. Kakashi started. Inari looked at him surprised. Who is his father, anyway? Minato asked, looking up at Kurama as everyone just groaned beside his students and Kushina. Man, he is dense. The others thought. Still, I never seen him cry or sulk or give up. He is always eager to jump in. He wants to be respected, that is his dream, and he will put his life on the line for that in a heartbeat. My guess is that he just got tired of crying and decided to do something about it. Kakashi says. That right, Naru, never give up. Kushina told her son. Inari's eyes widened in realization as he let out a sigh. Even though he is young and is still learning, he knows what it means to be strong. Okay, I leave Naruto in your hands. He has pushed his body to its limits, overdoing it as usual. So he may not be able to move at all today. Kakashi said. What about you? You are still recovering yourself. Inari's mom said. Why do I look wobbly? I will be okay. Kakashi asked. Well, let's get going. Tazuna said as he and the rest of Team 7 beside Naruto began to head back to the bridge. Still wasting time licking your wounds? I hired you to do a job you know. Are you even listening, Zabuza? Hey, Gato yelled over a communicator. Zabuza smashed it, stomping on it with his left foot. Haku, you ready? Zabuza said. Yes. Haku said as they onto the boat as they looked up underneath the boat. It is about to begin. Kurama says as he began to smile. Naruto blinked his eye multiple times before he hurried and sat up. Why did none wake up? Naruto said. Naruto hurried up and walked into the kitchen to see Inari's mom to see her washing the plates. Where is everybody? Where did they all go? Naruto asked. They left. Obito stated. Oh, Naruto. Your sensei wanted you to rest, you got the day off. Inari's mom said. I knew it, they ditched me. Naruto yelled as he hurried and got dressed. They did not ditch you. You just oversleep. Tsunade says. See ya? Naruto said as he ran out of the house. Naruto groaned as he jumped from tree to tree. They could have just woken me up. Naruto said that when he noticed a bloody boar on the ground. I have a bad feeling about this. Mikoto said. Hold on, what the heck is this? Tazuna said as he saw his fellow villagers on bridge beat and unconscious. What happened? Someone was here. Someone has gotten to them. Could it be? Minato thought. Could it be? Kakashi thought. Inari, could you give me a hand here? Inari's mom called. Be right there. Inari said. As two ninja approached their house. Oh no. Rin said. I hope they are alright. Kushina said as fog engulfed the bridge. It is Zabuza. Obito said. This mist. Sasuke, Sakura, get ready. Kakashi said. I was right, he is still alive. He could not wait for round 2. Kakashi sensei, it is Zabuza's hidden mist jutsu? Sakura asked. Sorry to keep you waiting, Kakashi. I see you still have those brat with you. That one is still trembling. Zabuza said as his water clones surrounded them. Sasuke smirked. I'm trembling in excitement. Sasuke said. Fugaku smiled as he gazed at his son. Go on, Sasuke. Kakashi said, looking back at his student. The first clone lunged, swinging his sword at Sasuke. Sasuke quickly pulled out his kunai and got rid of the 8 water clones. I can see it. Sasuke thought. He is beginning the sequence and gaining his Sharingan. Fugaku said proudly as Obito looked at his hands sadly. So you can see that they were water clones, huh? The brat improving, Zabuza said as he approached them with Haku by his side. Looks like you have a rival, Haku. So it seems. Haku responded as they stood in a standstill. Naruto was quickly moving through the forest in a hurry. I hope I'm not too late. Naruto said. Hurry, Naruto, they're going to need your help. Jiraiya said. Well, so I had it right. It was all an act. Kakashi said. An act. Tazuna said. And a pretty little mask. Kakashi said. Huh. Sakura said as she gaped at her teacher. Big phony. Sasuke said. Team Minato laughed. So all that about being a tracker ninja from his village was a load of bull. Tazuna said. They look pretty chummy to me. I think that they've been pulling scams like that for a long time. Kakashi said. When an Umbu dies, don't they destroy the masks that the Umbu had? Obito asked. Yes, traditionally that's what they do. So he is an actual tracker ninja, or they killed the original owner of the mask. Fugaku said. He got some nerve for facing us again after that dumb trick. Sakura said. Hiding behind that mask. Who does he think he fooling? Kakashi asked. Speak for yourself, Sensei. Sakura told him. Hiding behind that mask. Like some type of clown, who does he think he fooling? Sasuke said. Sasuke, you're so cool. Sakura said. Sakura. The women all said in unison as they shook their heads at the young Kuniochi. Wait a second, did I just say that? She will never change. Kakashi thought. Even though they were only 1/10 of the original, he still managed to defeat them all. Haku said. That first move did give us the advantage though. Now use it. Zabuza said. What is he talking about? Kakashi asked. Right. Haku said as he began to spin around with his chakra wrapping around him. What this? Sasuke asked as he pulled out 2 kunai and prepared himself. One of the ninjas sliced on the door down. Inari's mom gasped and looked back to see the 2 ninja as they came inside. You're Tazuna's daughter, right? The ninja wearing with the purple shirt. Too bad for you, you will have to come with us. Inari was in the bathroom washing his hands when he heard the crash from the kitchen and his mother scream. He quickly ran out of the room. Inari's mom was curled up as the ninja hovered above him. Mother! Inari yelled as he came from the hall. Run away, Inari. Mikoto pleaded. Inari, do not come in here, run away. Hurry! Inari's mom yelled. Don't move. The eye-patched ninja growled. Shall we grab this one too? No, Gato only asked for 1 hostage. The purple-clad ninja asked. Oh no, a hostage. Inari thought. Alright, then let's waste him. Patchy ninja said as he pulled out his sword. Inari gasped in surprise. All the adults clenched their fists. What happened to the honor of a shinobi or the loyalty of a samurai? Wait. Please do not hurt my son, I'm begging you, he's just a boy. I will do anything. Please just don't hurt him. Inari's mom pleaded. A mother's love for their child runs deep. Mikoto tells them as she rocked Itachi in her arms. It looks like your mom came through for you, kid, you're lucky. Purple ninja said as Patchy ninja put away his sword. Inari fell to the floor crying. What a waste, I was in the mood to cut something. Patchy said. Give it a rest, you already drew blood today. Purple said to Patchy before turning to Inari's mom. I wonder if he was the one to attack the boar? Obito thought. Let's get her out of here. Seizing Inari's mom by her wrist, pulling her to her feet. They tied her hands behind her back. I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry. Inari said as he cried as they took his mother away. What can I do? I am too weak to protect you. Inari said. I'm scared, I do not want to die. You do not have to be strong now, you have a lot of time to grow. Tsunade said. Then he remembered what Naruto and Kakashi said the night before. Inari then lifted his head to stare at his hands. Then recalled to what his father told him. Inari wiped away his tears. Then remember his family and Team 7. Can I be strong too? Inari said as he got up to his feet. Father, you are strong. Kushina says, we're going to treat him just fine. Patchy said, come on, keep walking. Purple said, stop. Inari yelled, well. Patchy started, Inari. Inari's mom yelled, look who came to save their mommy, how cute. Patchy said, you better get away from my mom. Inari said before he ran at them, no, Inari. They all yelled, Inari, no. Inari's mom said, this little kid is short on brains, don't you think? Patchy asked, if you hurt him, I swear I will. Inari's mom said before Purple knocked her out, shut up and take a nap. Purple said as Inari's mom fell to the floor. Sasuke and Haku were at a standstill with their arms. So he can keep up with Haku's speed, huh? Zabuza thought. Kakashi thought before turning to Sakura. Sakura, protect Tazuna and stay close to me, and let Sasuke handle this. Sasuke broke apart from Haku and then they both swung out and began to fight once again. We want the bridge builder, not you, so if you give us him we won't have to kill you. Haku said, none would ever give him up to you. Rin said, glaring at Haku. Save it. Sasuke said, you're making a mistake, you will not be able to keep up with my speed and I gained 2 key advantages. Haku stated. Yeah, and what's that? Sasuke asked. Well, I blocked one of your arms, therefore you only have one arm to defend yourself. Haku said as he lifted his hand up to make a hand sign. He can make hand signs with one hand. Obito yelled. I never seen that before. Kakashi said, is that even possible, Sensei? Rin asked, looking over at Minato. It is possible, but it takes extreme concentration and training. Minato replied. What? Using one hand? Sasuke thought. Hand signs with a single hand. I never seen that before. Kakashi thought as he one visible eye widened in surprise. Secret jutsu, 1,000 needles of death. Haku said as he stomped his foot into the water, allowing it to rise up. He does not want to kill the kid, does he mean that? Zabuza thought to himself as he watched Haku. Why does not he want to kill him? It is his job, is it not? Fugaku asked bitterly. We should be grateful what is Sasuke dies. Mikoto asked, glaring at her husband. Sasuke! Sakura yelled from his defensive position in front of Tazuna. The water began to form into ice needles as Sasuke began to focus his chakra. Remember the training focus. Sasuke said to himself as he thought about himself climbing the trees. Summon my chakra at once. As the needles began to rain down on him, Patchy and Purple sheathed their sword, cutting right through the substitution jutsu. A substitution jutsu. Purple says. Patchy looks down at the ground to see that Inari's mom was gone. The woman, she is gone. He says. It's probably Naruto. Kushina said hopefully. Sorry I am a little late, but you know heroes always show up at the last minute. Naruto said as she had Inari slung over his shoulder as he was laying Inari's mom on the pier. Naruto, it's you! Inari said. Wow, Kushin-chan, you're a good guesser. Obito tells her. Yeah, who else? Inari, you did great. When you charged, they had forgotten about your mom for a minute and gave me a chance to use a cool jutsu to get her away from them. Naruto explained as Inari's mom grunted and Inari let out a sigh in relief. Thank God they're okay. Mikoto says. Naruto, how did you know these samurai guys were coming here? Inari asked. In the forest, I had found a boar that had been attacked and the trees were all cut up too, like someone was practicing with a sword or something. The cuts lead back towards the house and I followed them here. Naruto explained. That was pretty smart. Rin says. That was really smart. Inari said. Blah blah, it's one of those puny ninja brats Tazuna hired. Patchy said. Get him. Purple said as they both grabbed the hilts of their swords. Yeah. Patchy agreed as they moved to attack. They're coming. Inari said. Naruto pulled out 2 shuriken and threw it at them, which they blocked easily. Try something. Purple said, baiting Naruto. Naruto simple stood up and smiled at them. I did. Naruto said. I want him, he is mine. Patchy growled as they did not notice the 2 shadow clones behind them until they kicked them aside the head, knocking the unconscious. While they took the bait, they're idiots. Kakashi says. Inari laughed before looking at Naruto and saying, you did it. Naruto laughed and held his fist out to Inari and yelled, yeah, believe it. Inari laughed before smiling widely at Naruto. That was truly excellent. Like a real ninja. You twerp, I am a real ninja, that is what I've been trying to tell you. Naruto said as they began to laugh like madmen. Every laughed at their exchange, directed to my feet. Sasuke said, as the needles rained down and Haku jumped out of the line of fire. He vanished. Haku said, looking to the place Sasuke once was. In the air was Sasuke throwing shuriken at Haku as Haku jumped back. You're not as fast as you think, from this point on you will be the one defending yourself from my attacks. Sasuke said from behind Haku before they jumped apart, twirling around before Sasuke moved into attack. You're growing up to be a perfect shinobi, my son, even without me there to guide you. Fugaku thought. Haku gasped in surprise as Sasuke threw a kunai at him, quickly ducking the kunai but not prepared when Sasuke kicked him in the face, causing him to go several feet back to where Zabuza was standing. Go Sasuke. Mikoto cheered. No, it is not possible, none is faster than Haku. Zabuza thought, looking down at Haku then back at Sasuke. You thought you were quicker, huh? Now what else are you wrong about? Sasuke said. He's so cocky like you, Kakashi. Obito said, making Kakashi glare at him. You made a big mistake insulting these ninja and calling them brats. That is guaranteed to bring out Sasuke's attitude, and the best young fighter in the village hidden in the leaves, and Sakura here is our brightest mind. Kakashi started. Sakura stuck her tongue out a little and blushed. Cha, am I bad at what? Inner Sakura gloated. Gloating is not benefiting you. Tsunade said, glowering at her future student. And last but not least, one hyperactive knucklehead ninja is Naruto Uzumaki. Kakashi finished. Everyone laughed at this. Naruto sneezed. They say when you sneeze someone is talking about you. Inari said as Patchy and Purple were tied up and tape was covering their mouths. Wow, that was spot on. Obito said. You do not believe that, do you? Oh yeah, by the way, sorry about yesterday. Naruto said as Inari looked at him surprised. Calling you a coward was pretty mean, I guess. Naruto said as he rubbed the back of his neck. Anyways, it was not true, you know. You were really brave. Naruto said as he removed his hand from his neck to ruffle Inari's hair. Naruto moved his hand away as he heard Inari sniffle and began to cry. Wow, an apology and words of encouragement. Jiraiya said. Darn it, I promised myself I would not cry anymore. Inari said as he began to cry. You're going to make fun of me again, but I can't stop. He won't make fun of you. Kushina said. Naruto turned away and looked out to the ocean. What are you talking about? You're happy, what is wrong with that? Naruto asked as he adjusted his headband. Inari gasped as he stared up at Naruto. When you're happy it is okay to cry. Naruto said, smiling at Inari. I hope you cry when you're happy then, Naruto. Minato said, smiling at the blonde. Kushina looked from Naruto and Minato. He kinda looks like him, but that not possible, is it? Kushina thought. Naruto. Inari said. Naruto turned around away from Inari. Okay. So I can leave everything in your hands now? Naruto asked. Yeah. Inari responded. Good, so I am going over to the bridge. Naruto said before he began to run in the direction of the bridge. It's not easy being a hero, but believe it. Naruto said as he took off. Believe it. Inari yelled. Why does he say believe it all the time? Kushina asked. Zabuza began to laugh. HMPF Haku, if we keep going on like this we will be the victims instead of them. Zabuza said before glaring at Haku as he got up. So get on with it. He barked. What are they planning? Jiraiya questioned as he looked at Haku. Right. Haku said as he began to concentrate his chakra. What that? Sasuke asked as he saw Haku chakra began to swirl out of his body. I am sorry it has come to this, Haku said. He really must not want to fight. Mikoto said as she looked at Haku sadly. So am I. Sasuke said as Haku began to form a hand sign in the water and the moisture in the air began to form one giant iceberg behind Sasuke, then more began to form around them both. Secret jutsu, Haku said as Zabuza began to smirk and Sasuke began to look around wildly. Crystal ice mirrors. Once the mirrors were up, Haku walked over and climbed into one of the mirrors. Sasuke gasped as he watched in horror as he saw Haku enter the ice, then appeared everywhere on each mirror. Mirrors, but how? Sasuke thought. It must be some sort of jutsu. Rin said. Kakashi growled in frustration as he ran over to his student, but Zabuza moved quickly to stand in his way. If you enter this fight, you will fight me. Your boy will have no chance in that jutsu, he is finished. Zabuza says. Now we will begin and I will show you what true speed really is. Haku says as he quickly pulled out some throwing needles. Sasuke groaned as needles began to hit him. Sasuke. Fugaka and the Kodo yelled for their son. Sasuke. Kakashi says as Sasuke was being attacked. Sasuke. Sakura screamed worriedly. Sasuke curled up into a ball holding his head as screamed when the needles grazed him. Just try to help him and I kill the other two in a heartbeat. Zabuza growled, glaring daggers at Kakashi. You monster. Kushina said, glaring daggers at Zabuza. I'm sorry, but I can't stay with you, forgive me. Sakura says to Tazuna. I understand, go now. Tazuna says. Sakura picked up the disregarded kunai and began to run to help her teammate. Go Sakura. Obito cheered, but the adults stayed quiet, knowing it mostly not to be effective. Sakura. Kakashi says. Take this. Sakura yelled, throwing the kunai. Haku shot out and grabbed the kunai. He is not going to make it to him. Obito said sadly. He caught it. Sakura said, surprised as Sasuke fell to the ground. There was a shuriken came running back around and knocked Haku out of one of his ice mirrors. Huh! Sakura said as she watched Haku fall to the floor. Haku groaned slightly as he sat up. There was an explosion a little ways away. Please don't tell me that is Naruto. Rin said as her eyebrow twitched slightly. Who is it? Sakura asked. What a fool. Sasuke said as looked towards where the dusk was beginning to settle. He is such a show-off. Number 1 hyperactive knucklehead ninja. Haku said as he slowly stood on his feet. Naruto Uzumaki is here, yeah, believe it. Naruto said as he broke out into a grin. Everyone began to laugh at this. Why couldn't he stay? His it would have been good plan of attack. Minato said as he looked at Naruto weirdly. That is because that is who the kid is. Kurama said with a big grin. Everyone simply stared at the blonde ninja as he appeared. Sasuke groaned as he tried to push himself up. Now that I am here, everything will be alright. Naruto said. Tazuna gasped in surprise. Naruto. Sakura cheered as she saw her teammate. You know how in story a hero shows up at the last minute and kicks, but well, that is what I'm going to do right now, believe it. Naruto said as he pointed his finger at them. Yeah, that is true about us heroes. Obito said proudly before he grinned widely. Rin smiled at her teammates and nodded her head. Zabuza grunted as he looked over at Naruto and glared. This brat again. Shut up, Naruto. Sasuke thought as he laid on the floor still. Kakashi sighed as he looked at his student disappointed. What an idiot. If only he had stayed hidden it would have been much more effective. See, even future Kakashi is asking why? Minato said as he cocked his head to the side. Be quiet, Minato. Fugaka told him, causing Minato to pout slightly. Haku said nothing before he looked over at Naruto. That boy. Haku said as he began to recall the events in which he encountered him in the forest. Alright. Your history shadow clone jutsu. Naruto said. Don't do it, Gaki. Tsunade yelled first before my one had the time to react. Kakashi looked at Naruto surprised. And oh, Naruto, move! Kakashi yelled. Naruto just stood there like an idiot. Haku threw his throwing needles, intercepting THR shuriken Zabuza had thrown, making everyone gasp in surprise. Why did he protect Naruto? Jiraiya thought as he stared at Haku. They did not get him. Sakura said, looking relieved. Those weapons cancelled each other out. That what I call lucky. Tazuna said. That was not luck. Mikoto said. What are you doing, Naruto? Are you crazy? Sakura yelled at her teammate. Yes, he is crazy. Team Minato said in unison. This is a battle, not a talent show. Never let your opponents see your jutsu. Kakashi said, scolding his student. Naruto just gasped. A shinobi art is deception, always keep the enemy guessing. Even when executing a single jutsu, one must catch their opponent off balance and outmaneuver them. You just turned yourself into a human target when you enter a battle like that. Kakashi said. Even in the middle of a mission you still have time to give lectures. Obito said as he loomed over at Kakashi. Shut it, Obito. Kakashi said, glaring at his teammate. I'm sorry. I was just trying to rescue everybody. Naruto screamed. How can he forget that rule? The teachers at the academy preach this every day. Kushina said, confused as she looked at her son. But there is another mystery here, Kakashi said, staring at Haku. Him. Sasuke thought. Haku. What are you doing? Zabuza growled at the young ninja. Zabuza, this boy, let me fight him my own way. Haku said, standing up completely. Please, so he did have an alternative motive for saving Naruto. Jiraiya said. Why did he save Naruto, Minato-sensei? Kakashi asked. I honestly don't know myself. Minato told his student. Bring it on. Naruto said, staring at Haku. HPMF, so you want me to leave this to you, is that it, Haku? Zabuza asked, looking at Haku. As usual, you're too soft. He is right. Sasuke is barely injured at best, his was temporarily paralyzed. Tsunade said as HSE stared at Sasuke. This kid has remarkable abilities, consider how young he is. Fugaku commented. Forgive me. Haku said as Sasuke began to sit up. Soft, he right, look at these wounds he cut me up with those needles, yet he did not hit a single vital part. Why? Sasuke asked himself as he stared at Haku. Is he just trying to humiliate me? Not everything is about you, Sasuke. Obito said. I'm warning you, Naruto said, pointing at Haku. One way or another I will rip off that mask and rip you apart. Haku merely stared at Naruto. It is impossible. Naruto can't match this kid. I got to, Kakashi thought before his thoughts were interrupted by Zabuza. Don't even think about it. If you go after Haku, I will go after the bridge builder. Zabuza told him, glaring at Kakashi. Kakashi gasped in surprise before narrowing his eyes at the assassin. He got me. I can't protect Tazuna and go help Naruto and Sasuke at the same time. He thought to himself as he glanced at Tazuna out of the corner of his eye. Sakura's feisty, but she can't fight Zabuza alone. You just made yourself sound like a pedophile, Kakashi. Obito said, causing Rin to laugh and Kakashi face to blush red with embarrassment. Relax, Kakashi. Sit back and enjoy the show. Zabuza says as he smirked underneath his bandages. Let's see how they do. 1-on-1. That mask, and your bogus story. You were with Zabuza all along. Naruto stated. You think you will get away with that? I'm sorry, but what your sensei said about deceiving your opponent, catching your opponent off guard, that is the art of the shinobi, so do not take it personally. Haku told Naruto. Man, everyone is lecturing Naruto today. Kushina said. He should already know these things. What did he do in the academy? Sleep? Tsunade asked, looking over at Kurama. Yes, Naruto did. In fact, Naruto slept and often did not pay attention during class before Irika took over and became his teacher. While you're jabbering, I will catch you off guard. Sasuke thought, picking up a kunai and throwing it at Haku. Haku moved back as the kunai came flying at him, and Sasuke gasped in surprise as Naruto looked over to see him inside the ice mirror jutsu. An opponent will never forget someone they had already began to fight, no matter what the conditions are. Mikoto told her son. Sasuke? Naruto said. How did you not know that he was there before now? Rin asked, sighing. I have not forgotten about you for an instant. Haku said, keeping his eyes trailed at Naruto. Sasuke gritted his teeth. So this is where Sasuke is. Naruto thought. He is pinned down. Some warriors accept defeat gracefully, they know when they are beaten. Haku said, turning to look at Sasuke. Others do not. So be it, let's finish our battle then to the death. Haku walked over and climbed back into the mirror. It kinda of creepy how he does that. Rin said as she saw Haku morph into the mirror. I agree, that does look a little weird. Obito commented. Hey, where are you going? Naruto asked. It is alright, Naruto, we will have our fight next. Haku said. Naruto eyes widened in surprise as he watched Haku get sucked into the ice. What is he, human? Tsunade stated. Here he comes. Sasuke thought as he narrowed his eyes staring at the ice Haku stepped into. Sasuke glanced around trying to focus on the reflection. The real one is over there. Sasuke looked back at the one in front of him. Sasuke reached to pull out a kunai from his pouch. I'm right behind you. Haku said as he readied himself to throw the needles. How is he moving so fast? Rin asked. That is impossible, he must be jumping from the mirrors somehow. Fugaku thought as for a slight second he saw Haku move between the mirrors. He transported himself in an instant. How? Sasuke thought as he looked back at Haku. Haku began to appear in all the crystal ice mirrors. Sasuke groaned as he was showered once more in throwing needles. Mikoto flinched as her son was being attacked. Sasuke! Naruto screamed as Sasuke screamed in pain. What is that? Sasuke is getting all ripped up and I can't even tell where is the attack coming from. How is he doing that? Naruto asked himself as he stared helplessly at Sasuke. What kind of jutsu is this? Could it be that he has clones hiding in the mirrors and all throwing needles at the same time? No, they're too fast for that. I can't see where they are coming from, Sasuke thought in frustration. And if it was just a clone jutsu then he would not need the ice mirror. Those mirrors are most definitely the key to his attacks, but what is my next move? Is this when he get his Sharingan? Fugaku asked as he looked over at Kurama. No, this is when he began to develop the stages of acquiring it. Kurama tells him. Obito looked down to the ground but Mikoto rubbed his back and picked his chin up and smiled. Sasuke, Naruto, think you need to attack from the outside and the inside at the same time. Kakashi yelled to his students, to figure out how the mirrors work. Sakura thought, I've got it. Naruto thought to himself, why do I feel like he going to do something idiotic? Kakashi thought, yes, at perfect it is all about position. Naruto and I are in the perfect position. If I attack in front of here and Naruto attacks him from the outside, we can do it. Sasuke thought, hey, I snuck in here to save you. Naruto said smiling as Sasuke looked at him surprised. Pretty cool move. Huh? Sasuke, how did he get in there? Obito said, that idiot. Kakashi thought as he groaned as he hit his forehead. Sasuke growled, shaking in anger at his idiot teammate as Sakura looked at him dumbfounded. Kakashi sighed, Naruto, sneak up on your enemy, not your ally. All the adults laughed at this. You are a complete loser. Sasuke yelled as Naruto frowned. You're a Shinbo, think carefully before you move. That true? Obito said, nodding his head. You did that all the time when you first started out as well. Rin told him bluntly. What the heck is your problem? I only came in here to help you. Naruto yelled back at Sasuke. Naruto, if we are both inside here, you know what, forget it. I had it with your mistakes. Sasuke said, and I had it with your attitude. Naruto retorted. Believe it, this two fight just as much as Jiraiya and Orochimaru does. Tsunade observed. Naruto, you're building the most solid reputation as the most clueless ninja in history. The more he helps the worse things get, Kakashi said dejectedly. Everyone laughed at Kakashi's statement. That is it, I am going to destroy these mirrors right now. Sasuke said as he jumped to his feet. Fire style, he murmured to himself. Hey, what jutsu are you using? Naruto asked. The mirrors are made out of ice, how do you destroy ice? So figure it out. Sasuke said. So he going to use fire style jutsu. Obito says. I don't think it may work. Minato says. Why not, sensei? Rin asked. It because that kid does not even look slightly worried. Fugaku said, staring at Haku. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke said as he began to breath fire. Sasuke's eyes widened when he realized that the ice did not even melt slightly. That did not do anything at all. Naruto said, you will need much more heat than that to melt this ice. Haku told them, it must be infused with his chair somehow. Tsunade said. Sasuke gritted his teeth as Haku prepared to attack. Light flashed as they were hit with a barrage of needles, sending them flying in the air. Where is he? Where are the needles coming from? Where are their clones? Naruto asked as he stood up. We have to find the real one. Which one is it? Look into each mirror as hard as you like, but you will never learn the secret. Haku informed them. There is always a trick to each jutsu, so the key must be in sight. Obito said. Wow, Obito, you really are learning something. Kakashi said. Obito's face flamed red in embarrassment. Shut it, Kakashi. Oh yeah? Shadow clone jutsu. Naruto said. If there is 100 of your mirrors, then 100 of me will just have to smash them all. Haku moved quickly to attack. Sasuke, Naruto, take this guy out, you can do it. Sakura yelled to her teammates. They sure can. Rin and Obito yelled at the same time, causing the adults to smile. She should not be pushing him. Kakashi said. Don't, Sakura. Kakashi said. Don't push them. Kakashi, how many times do I have to tell you not to repeat yourself? Obito said sternly. Sakura looked over at her sensei. Even if they found some way to overcome the mirror jutsu, they still could not defeat this ninja. Kakashi tells her. How come? Rin asked, looking over at her sensei. Even if they defeat the mirrors, Haku may have eminently more chakra than the both of them. Kushina explained. Oh. Rin said. How can you be so sure? Sakura asked. Zabuza began to laugh once more. They have the desire to win, but they don't have the instinct to kill. Kakashi said as Sakura gasped as she realized what was happening. That boy is on a whole another breed. He lives for pain, he thrives on it. Kakashi, that is a horrible thing to say. Rin says as she looked over at her teammate. Exactly. Your village has become complacent. Your trainees never learn the most important lesson of all, to kill the feelings in their own hearts, to crush an opponent mercilessly and destroy with no remorse and no regret. Zabuza said as his chakra began to flow of him like waves. Is that how village hidden in the mist treat his villagers? But then, sensei, what are we going to do? Sakura asked. Please tell us. I could make a break for it, and save Naruto and Sasuke, but then he would kill the bridge builder. If I use shadow clones, then he would just match them with water clones and I would be wasting chakra. Kakashi said. I have no choice at me or Zabuza. We will have to decide this here and now, the hard way. as he began to remove his headband to show his Sharingan eye. The Sharingan. Sakura thought as she saw what her sensei was doing. Sharingan, you're no fun, Kakashi. Using the same old tricks. Zabuza said before he placed his hand behind him and ran at Kakashi, and pulled a kunai out aiming for his eye. Sensei, no! Sakura yelled. Kakashi. Team Minato yelled. Blood dripped from Kakashi's hand as the kunai was embedded in his hand. If it was such an old trick, then why did you just stop me? Kakashi asked. Zabuza laughed before answering, letting your opponent see your jutsu so many times and he will find a way to use it against you. Then count yourself lucky. You're the only man alive that has seen my Sharingan twice. Show's over, there won't be a third time. Kakashi stated. Zabuza let out a chuckle before. Even if you did defeat me, you would stand no chance against Haku. Just how strong is this kid? Jiraiya thought. Sakura gasped as she looked over at her teammates worriedly. Is that possible? That boy in the mask is stronger than Kakashi-sensei? She thought. When I found him, he was just a street kid, but I trained him in the most advanced ninja techniques. Zabuza said as he began to remember when Zabuza began to practice throwing the throwing needles, hitting vitals and KO spots dead on as he watched from a tree. That requires years of training. Just how long did he have to train to perfect that move? Tsunade asked. I taught him everything I know, and plus he had special abilities that he refined on his own. The boy developed quickly. Soon he could face the most powerful enemies outnumbered. In total darkness, it did not matter, he could strike with perfect accuracy. Zabuza said. He cared nothing for his own life, or the lives of others. He became a unique fighting machine, a shinobi. Even in the end his powers even surpassed mine. His bloodline trait, his Kekigenkai, cannot be defeated by anyone. I created its roots and he can destroy anything that stands in his way. Unlike the useless punks that follow you around, he acting like a proud father. Mikoto mumbled under her breath as she cradled Itachi. I did not get to him. Naruto growled in frustration. Then I will try it again and as many times as it takes. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto said as he began to make more clones. Naruto, Sasuke yelled. Don't, that idiot. Kakashi said. The same result was happening as before and the clones were destroyed. Sasuke began to see the flow of attacks in which he was able to see Haku attacking Naruto. How is he doing that? Naruto asked. It was barely there, but I saw it. I could see the trail and follow his moves. Sasuke thought. One more time. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto said. Sasuke ran forward as kicked the water into the air. It useless, Naruto. Stop fighting, you're wasting your chakra. Don't you see that it is useless? Haku said as he destroyed the clones once more, sending Naruto and Sasuke flying back. I can see his speed, but it does not mean I can match it. Sasuke thought. The water, it was being repelled, but if I try something else, not water, but yes, now it is my move. His Sharingan. Obito mumbled. If you think those genin punks together can beat Haku, he is the ultimate a battle tool of destruction. Zabuza said. Are you finished bragging? Kakashi asked. You're starting to put me to sleep. Let's finish this, now. Kakashi removed his headband from his eye. Kakashi's gaze lingered over to Obito before looking away. But there is just one more thing you should know. The bragging, as you say, was, did you really think our last battle would be win or lose, that I took your attacks like some low-ranked genin? Zabuza said as they remembered their last battle. Haku was there watching your every movement, studying your Sharingan. Haku can see a jutsu once and devise a lethal counter-attack. It is one of his gifts. Sakura gasped. Is that even possible? Rin asked, looking over at the older Uchihas. Yes, in fact it is very possible for one to notice a Kekigenkai and find a way to overcome it, but there's no direct way to do it. Even if it was successful, then they would have to prepare for anything. Mikoto says. But even for elite ninja, Kekigenkai always have an advantage. Fugaku tells them. I have been waiting to see the look on your face when you realize your Sharingan has become worthless. Zabuza told Kakashi. Tazuna gasped. You once said that the same jutsu won't work on me twice, now I am telling you that. Zabuza said. Ninja art, hidden mist jutsu. The mist began to grow thicker and thicker. The mist is so thick there is zero visibility. Tazuna says. Why would he do that? It means he won't be able to see anything either. Kakashi says, confused. Not really. Kushina says. All hidden mist ninja are accustomed to this level visibility. How is that possible? Rin asked. By honing on the other senses. Tsunade tells the curious students. Sensei? Sakura called. Sakura, stay with Tazuna. Kakashi told her. I have to be strong and believe in Sasuke, Naruto and Kakashi-sensei. I also have my job to do no matter what it takes. Sakura thought as she headed towards Tazuna. You're going to be a fine ninja one day, Sakura. Tsunade says. Oh, Sakura. Tazuna said as she stood in front of him. Follow my lead, Mr. Tazuna. Whatever happens, stay close. Sakura said. All right, I will stay right behind you. Tazuna said. I know you need me, Zabuza. I will finish them off quickly. Haku thought as his thoughts were interpreted as Naruto ran at him, then proceed to make shadow clones. He just won't give up. Haku thought as he ready to attack as Sasuke prepare his fireball jutsu. Of course they won't, they are ninja from the hidden in the leaves. Mikoto says proudly as she watched Itachi run around near them. Haku was caught off guard as the fireball was heading his way. The fireball jutsu? Haku said as he moved out of the way. It should not be taking this long to defeat them. Haku destroyed the clones as Sasuke let out another fireball jutsu, and this time he burned part of his pants. HMPF, I got him that time. Sasuke thought. I am starting to get the timing. That it, you can do it, Sasuke. Obito cheered. It is the hidden mist jutsu. This mist is too thick even for Zabuza. How can he fight in it? Kakashi thought as shuriken came flying at him and Kakashi blocked them with a kunai. Very skillful, as expected from Kakashi the Sharingan warrior. Zabuza said from behind him. His eyes are closed? Kakashi said as he looked at Zabuza. Why are his eyes closed? Kakashi asked confused. But the next time you see me will be the last time you see anything. Without your Sharingan you're nothing. Zabuza said as he faded into the mist. What? Kakashi said. I think we are about to get a lecture. Obito sighs. You wanted me to believe you can see through anything even through time. Zabuza said. But your prediction was wrong because I'm still alive, so you're a fraud, Kakashi. You can't read the future, and you can't read me. The Sharingan is just some cheap trick that makes you seem more powerful than you actually are. I know now has two separate elements: the piercing eye that sees every detail, and the hypotonic eye which mesmerize your opponent. By applying these abilities, by using these techniques, you can use multiple jutsu to make it seem like you can see the future. Using your piercing eye, you copied my movements instantly. This replication of movement, it makes me doubt my own thoughts. Zabuza said. Once I was shaken, you infiltrated my mind and you were listening. My heart fluttered at every action so you could anticipate my next moves. Wow, that was like a lesson from the academy. Rin says as she listened to Zabuza explain everything. You timed it precisely for the right movement. The instant my mind unfocused, you created a new illusion with your hypnotic eye. You induced me to make hand signs while you were making the same ones, so it seemed you would be copying me when actually you're controlling my mind and my movements.